hope. It's a new high school football season, and it starts tonight live at Lad People Stadium here in Mobile, Alabama, the home for many Mobile area teams. But tonight is the home for the LeFlore Rattlers as they play host to Montgomery's Jefferson Davis Volunteers. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Finnegan alongside my broadcast partner Howard McCain for tonight's blockbuster matchup and the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week presented by School Insights live here on Seymour TV. We'll be right back with more action in the first quarter between the Rattlers and the Volunteers, so keep it right here.
That's the hard part, dude.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that end.
Like what? Smartboard, that's right.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights live here on Seymour TV between the LeFlore Rattlers and the Jeff Davis Volunteers. I'm Tim Finnegan alongside Howard McCain live from Lad People Stadium here in Mobile, Alabama. We want to welcome in all of our viewers from around the world for tonight's great matchup. And Howard, football is finally back.
Oh, absolutely. I've been waiting for this for months. You know, I know that every sport has to have its own off-season, Tim, but for some reason the off-season for football seems to be so much longer than any other major sport out there. But look, we're back tonight. The air is electric. Both teams have taken the field, Tim. They're ready to kick this thing off, and we're ready to start the 2014 high school season here in Mobile, Alabama.
Say it again.
Here is the the open to the 2014 high school football season here, Mobile, Alabama, Lad People Stadium. I'm excited.
LeFlore getting ready to kick off this game at the 40-yard line as Jefferson Davis has two players back around the 10-yard line to receive. This isn't the first trip in 2014 for Jefferson Davis as they played Williamson right here in Lad for a spring game. So now they followed up with LeFlore to open their season as D'Angelo Stewart, the senior wide receiver, is going to be lining up to kick this one off as the Rattlers get into position right around the 35-yard line. Stewart, one of the leading seniors on this Rattlers unit, playing multiple positions, now coming out as the kicker, as Ja'Carry Jackson is going to be back around the 10 to receive this one, and it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. Two similar teams, Howard, and the Volunteers and the Rattlers, as they come out in a read option type of offense while both teams run 3-4 defenses. But the guy that you have to talk about.
One of the things that Jeff Davis definitely has to be worried of tonight is big defensive end for LeFlore, DeAndre Hogues. Now, he's 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a junior, so he can wreak havoc all along that offensive front here tonight for the Volunteers if they are not careful.
And his partner in crime, Dimitri Goldsmith, with just your prototypical nose tackle that you want to have on your line. As the first snap is underway, Jefferson Davis bringing the ball up the field to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and just like that, the first play goes for a touchdown, just like that for Jefferson Davis. What
just a beautiful job up front, Tim, on that play by the offensive line to open up a huge hole on the right side of that formation. As we look at it here on the replay, a nice 80-yard scant there for the small running back, the 5'6", 153-pound senior athlete. That's Ja'Carry Jackson.
Well, the captain of the team gets the team on the board first, and it didn't take long as they were able just to cut right up the middle, and it almost seemed as Jackson went untouched as he went for a good 70-yard touchdown run to kick this season off. And that's the kind of momentum you're looking for if you're a volunteer coach right now. They're going to be lining up for the point after. Jefferson Davis, Ty Woods, the junior kicker, lining up. The snap is down, the kick is up, and through the uprights as the Volunteers strike first, taking a 7-0 lead.
What better way to set the tone for the start of the football season and the start of the game than to go for a one-play, 80-yard drive that only took about 18 seconds off of the clock. About 18 seconds off of the clock for the Volunteers. Huge start for the Volunteers. I'm sure their coach can't be any more thrilled than that. Coach Lee Carter of the Volunteers can't be more thrilled than that. But for LeFlore, okay, quickly, you've got to have amnesia. You've got to let that play go and get ready for the next possession.
Absolutely, and if you want to be able to get some kind of momentum in someone else's yard, there's no better way than to start off with an explosive play as the Volunteers get ready to kick this one off again. It looks like James Leatherwood, the senior quarterback, now converted over into more of an athlete, being utilized at the running back and wide receiver position, is going to be back for the Rattlers at the 5-yard line. Interestingly enough, when senior quarterback Rodney English transferred over from Davidson this offseason, there was a quarterback battle going on between English and Leatherwood, but actually it was Leatherwood that went to Coach Anthony Schamberger during spring camp and told him he would prefer English to actually be the starter so that way he could help out the rest of the team. Ty Woods lining up to kick this one off for the Volunteers as Leatherwood and Jerry McKellen back to receive for the Rattlers. It's a high, short one, and looks like James Leatherwood's going to take it around the 20, down to the 25, scoots around and tackled and brought down at around the 28-yard line.
Yeah, Tim, after giving up a one-play, and I can't say it enough because it was a huge play, after giving up a one-play 80-yard drive that took only 18 seconds off the clock, it's up to the offense now, Tim, for the LeFlore Rattlers to come out here and try to put together some plays to keep this defense on the field. We already know how humid of a night it is right now, Tim. The longer you can keep the opposing defense on the field, the more tired out you can get them in this type of weather. Let's see what LeFlore can do.
And now we see the debut of new quarterback Rodney English after transferring over from Davidson. He lines up in the shotgun formation. It's going to be a quarterback keeper on the play, but brought down immediately by the Jefferson Davis defender, stuffing him for about a 4-yard loss on the play, backing him up to around the 25.
Tim, that was a senior defensive end, Noah Taylor. This kid goes 6'1", 224 pounds, was unblocked virtually at the point of attack, Tim. Able to get into the backfield, bring down the quarterback well behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like he may have lost about 4 yards on that play.
The Rattlers operating now the shotgun formation in the read option offense. 2 receivers on each side. They want to get some confidence to English immediately as he drops back, and it's going to be a check down play, but then dropped for another loss on the play. This Volunteer defense, 2 stops in a row, both for losses.
Yeah, they're swarming, Tim, and whenever you give a spotted team a lead early on in the football game, the defense comes out there already inspired. That was Michael Richardson, the 5'11", 196-pound senior linebacker, able to bring down the receiver. Again, another loss on the play, Tim. 2 plays for LeFlore, 2 negative yardage plays. Now they're backed up, Tim, to their own 24.
10 minutes and 20 seconds counting here in our first quarter. Jefferson Davis defending a 7-0 lead as LeFlore faces 3rd and 15. English drops back to back, gonna rip it and lets it go. Double coverage, and it's gonna be tipped away on the play, incompletion, and that's gonna bring up a 4th down.
That pass was intended for D'Angelo Stewart, Tim, but he was blanketed by the safety and the corner on that play. Then on top of that, in the backfield, as we look at the play, a lot of harassment around the quarterback, Tim. Right now, he was not comfortable in the pocket delivering that ball. A lot of air got underneath the pass and fell incomplete. So now that's going to bring up 4th down in a punt situation now for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Stewart on the receiver on that play, now coming back onto the field as the punter for the Rattlers. As Jefferson Davis has their man back around the 40-yard line. There's a shift on the line. Travis Bozeman back to receive this one, as it's going to be a high punt, and right to Bozeman as he takes it right around the 35-yard line, bringing it up the field, and takes a shot on the play. Wow. Yeah,
absolutely leveled on that play that time by DeAndre Hogue. So wow. We need to get used to hearing that kid's name tonight, Tim, as we take a look at the on the punt reception there. surges upfield, and right there, Tim, huge hit placed on the punt returner there by Hogues. Big play. Looks like they're going to start this drive around about their own 43-yard line are the Volunteers.
Hogues is certainly a player to watch for, number 32. He's the junior defensive end, 6'2", 220, as he tries to put some pressure on the play, but then broken up on the outside. Jefferson Davis bringing up a 2nd and 10 from the 43 with less than 10 minutes left here in our first quarter. They're trying to build off of their last drive, in which on the first play they had around an 80-yard touchdown run in order to get on the board. Right here they go for a screen pass, but now first time going under center for the Volunteers as they go into a bunch formation with one receiver split out. They have a man in motion coming across the field. And it's going to be another handoff this time, but this time the Rattlers are ready for it, and it's going to be a loss for about 2 yards.
Quickly into the backfield on that play, Tim, Alex Davis and Darrell Scott. Look, it was an unbalanced set for the offensive line for Jeff Davis. It was run all the way. They stacked the box, able to get good penetration, bring down the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. Is going to bring up a 3rd down and long now, Tim, for the Volunteers.
3rd and 10 from around the 43 as the Volunteers are out in the shotgun formation. Now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and there's a penalty on the play. Might have been a little bit of a false start, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to get the indication here from the head referee tonight as he walks to the sideline to give us indication. That's Sean Kelly, and I believe it's going to be illegal procedure.
Legal procedure.
That's going to be a false start against the offense. Looks like one of the guards, Tim, when he was already down his 3-point stance, flinched towards the line of scrimmage. The back judge, the umpire, actually came in and dropped the flag on the play, so it's going to back this Volunteer offense up another 5 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long now.
They're switching up a little bit of the formation here. They're going with 3 receivers spread out on the right side. Quarterback back staff going to roll out to his right, looking downfield, evades 1 tackle, and gets smothered by a swarm of Rattler defenders on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Tim, DeAndre Hogues is going to be credited with that sack, and I'm going to tell you why. At the line of scrimmage, at the very point of attack, he beat the offensive lineman straight out of his stance, got around him quickly. That was Preston Mixon. He was able to get around Preston Mixon, immediately put pressure on the quarterback, and brought him down well behind the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 4th down and forever now for the Volunteers as they punt this ball back now over to the Rattlers.
McKellen and Leatherwood back to receive this one in the punt formation. Jefferson Davis with the punt on the play. A high one all the way to the 40, 35, back down, and it's going to bounce and take a Volunteer bounce to the 35, where the Rattlers will take over with 8 minutes left here in our first quarter.
Yeah, and the Rattlers are still sitting on, right now, the Volunteers are sitting on a 7-0 score thanks in part to one play. The opening play of the drive, actually, a one-play 80-yard scamper to the end zone by Ja'Carry Jackson of the Volunteers, and that's where we sit right now as LeFlore gets ready to take over, Tim, 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Rodney English coming out, and early on in the game, especially at this point of the season, you just want to do the simple things in order to establish some confidence for your new quarterback. We know about what James Leatherwood can do. He's going to be involved in some packages later on at the quarterback position, but for right now, it's the Rodney English show, and he's got to do the simple things in order to get started, as he's going to hand off to his running back, James Leatherwood. He's going to try to dodge one defender, break around the side, and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No loss on the play, but it brings up a 2nd down.
Yeah, that's just amazing pursuit there by the defensive front to, first of all, after the handoff was given to Leatherwood, was able to string the ball out all the way to the right side of the formation, forcing Leatherwood back to the left side where defensive pursuit was able to finish off the play right at the line of scrimmage. He was brought down by Dantavius Scott. He's 5'8", 161. He's a senior.
LeFlore coming back out in the shotgun formation. English back there with his 2 running back options. Leatherwood on his left, and it's going to be another handoff to Leatherwood as he goes up the middle this time, and he's going to get about a 6-yard gain before he's brought down around the 41-yard line.
You know, and this offense needs a couple of positive plays right now, because as far as it goes in the trenches, right now Jeff Davis is pretty much winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, Tim. And you would know as well as I do, a lot of games are won or lost in the trenches. So it's up to this offensive front to control this front three that are rushing a quarterback for Jeff Davis as we get a timeout on the field.
We're going to get a timeout on the play. You're watching the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on C4 TV. We'll be right back with more action as the Rattlers lead 7-0 with 6:54 left here in our first quarter.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week between the LeFlore Rattlers and the Jeff Davis Volunteers. Jeff Davis leading 7-0 here with 6:54 left in our first quarter as LeFlore comes out on a 3rd and 3 at their own 40-yard line. Rodney English drops back to pass, dump off to Stewart, but it's going to be an incompletion and bring up a 4th down on the play.
Just a simple matter right there, Tim, on the bubble screen to the wide out in the left flat. Just trying to do something before he had the football. Ball falls incomplete. And right now, LeFlore offensively is having a really tough time getting anything going right now against this Volunteer defense. So far, Tim, they've been swarming to the ball as they prepare to get the ball right back to the Volunteer offense.
D'Angelo Stewart coming out for another punt on the night as Travis Bozeman is back for the Volunteers right around the 35-yard line. Explosive plays by the Volunteers tonight, while LeFlore is still trying to find their way early on. But hey, it's the first quarter of the first season, so they have plenty of time. Right now, we're going to take another timeout. Howard, did you know that Mobile County Public Schools was the first district in Alabama to have all of its schools meet the Healthier U.S. Schools Challenge?
Had no idea.
Well, all of our schools are serving more fruits and vegetables and whole grains for breakfast and lunch, and we're promoting more physical activity. Healthy living, it starts with us.
I believe it. I believe it. Listen, I go to the gym 3 times a week. Can't you tell?
Only 3?
Only 3, okay?
Honestly, I'm a little concerned about that.
Well, I started, just to show you that I've been working out more, I actually started to do the broadcast with my shirt off. But at the last minute, I decided against it, okay? I decided against it, so I went ahead and put a suit on, just so you could be comfortable, okay?
I'm glad you made that sacrifice for me because, it's hot enough
yes.
that I wouldn't mind participating in an involuntary ALS Ice Bucket Challenge right about now.
That would be fantastic.
Just saying. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. Bozeman back to return for the Volunteers as Stewart comes out for the Rattlers. It's going to be a direct snap up the middle, and Deontre Ray, the linebacker, brings it up to the 40, 35, evades the tackle. Bozeman tackles him at the 30, but not until LeFlore gets a first down off of a fake punt. Noah Taylor. Deontre Ray, the linebacker for LeFlore, lined up right in front of Stewart. It's a direct snap, and he takes it all the way up the field for a first down. Hey, that's not a bad offensive play.
No, it's not a bad play. And of course, if it doesn't work, then everybody's complaining. But since it worked, everybody's like, oh, my God, what a great play call. And I'm going to say it, too. Oh, my God, what a great play call. Just caught special teams napping. Beautiful job there of keeping possession of the football for the LeFlore Rattlers. Maybe they can build off of this and make something happen in this first quarter.
English with the fresh set of downs, drops back to pass. It's a quick strike over to Stewart out. Evades one tackle, gets up the field, 5 to the 20, inside to the 15-yard line. And that's a fresh set of downs for the Rattlers and their first down of the day as a strike from Rodney English over to D'Angelo Stewart.
Yeah, he was finally rushed out of bounds by Dontavius Scott over here on the near side, Tim. But now you can see the energy starting to interject into the offense for the LeFlore Rattlers, and they're starting to move the football. Great play call by the offensive staff on that fake punt to move the ball into volunteer territory, deep into volunteer territory, Tim. Now they're 1st and 10 in the red zone.
English lines up the shotgun formation. James Leatherwood, the running back, to his right side. He's got Stewart, who just made the catch out on the outside up near the 10 marker. As English takes the snap, and it's going to be a delayed handoff, but Leatherwood's going to take it around the left side up the field and finally dragged out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. He's going to pick up about a 5 to 6 yard gain on the play.
James Leatherwood's a good-looking athlete. Okay, when he gets the football, he is very, very fluid in between the tackles. This kid keeps his eyes downfield as we get a stoppage right now by the referee. And we're going to get an official's timeout here. I believe it's going to be our heat-related timeout.
A heat timeout? Is this about the time we get dumped with the ice bucket challenge? 5 minutes and 52 seconds left here in our first quarter. The Jefferson Davis Volunteers leading 7-0, but the LeFlore Rattlers knocking on the door in the red zone with an upcoming 2nd and 4 coming up next here on our Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights Live here on Seymour TV. Tim Finnegan, Howard McCain. The LeFlore Rattlers are inside the red zone, facing a 2nd and 4 as Rodney English takes another snap. He's going to keep it himself right around the left side and into the end zone. Rodney English with a quarterback keeper and gets into the end zone and gets the Rattlers back into the game with our score 7-6 with 5 minutes and 52 seconds left here in our first quarter.
Just a beautiful job of selling the play fake that time by the quarterback. Rodney English sunk the ball deep into the belly of his wide receiver, was able to find a crease on the left side as we watch him hustle into the end zone there. 4-6 for the LeFlore Rattlers, as the Rattlers now have narrowed the gap now 7-6, point after Pennington here on the field at Lad People Stadium.
Well, that's the advantage of having 2 dual-threat quarterbacks in the same backfield. You just don't know what's going to happen as Stewart is down and he's going to kick the ball through the uprights, and that's going to tie. No, excuse me, that is an incompletion on the play. The Volunteers continue to lead 7-6 after the missed field goal. With 5:42 left here in our first quarter, Rodney English gets the Rattlers on the board, but unable to convert the point after. The Volunteers continue to lead 7-6. I'll tell you, Howard, coming in to this game, Jeff Davis hasn't exactly had the best of luck coming to Mobile, as their last 3 playoff appearances have been exits by teams from the Mobile area in the first round.
Yeah, you know, and they would love to get out of here with a win, you know, considering their track record here in the Mobile area. So right now they're off to a start, Tim, where they could possibly break that string, that negative string of losses here in the beautiful county of Mobile. Beautiful day here in Mobile tonight. A little sticky as far as the weather goes, but otherwise, nice crowd for the LeFlore Rattlers here at Lad People Stadium as we enjoy a very competitive football game here in the first quarter. 7-6 right now as the Volunteers lead the LeFlore Rattlers after a missed point after attempt after an 8-yard touchdown run by quarterback Rodney English into the end zone for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Stewart trying to line it up to kick this one off after the Rodney English touchdown. Bozeman back again for the Volunteers. Both teams, a lot of explosive plays in order to get onto the board. And we could be in store for quite the battle back and forth tonight.
So, hey, listen, so far, so good. Looks like it. Here we go. The LeFlore Rattlers set up to kick.
And Stewart with the kick underway. Bozeman back around the 10-yard line is going to take it. He's going to bring it up to the 15, to the 20, up to the 25, scooting around to the 30, and finally ripped down at the 30-yard line. Want to know more? Want to know what is happening in Mobile County Public Schools? Follow us on Facebook and Twitter to get breaking news, announcements, and school news. And log on to mcpss.com for up-to-date information. When you see positive news about our schools, share it on our own social media accounts and help us get the word out that good things are happening in Mobile County Public Schools. It starts with us.
Tim, looking at some of our scores from some of our preseason games that have already taken place. Murphy, a 40-13 winner over Enterprise. That game took place here at Lad People Stadium on last night. The Daphne Trojans took down the Warriors of Davison by a score of 14-6. Again, these scores are from last night. We did have some preseason action on last night as Daphne got the season started off right with a win. And the Mary G. Montgomery Vikings played to a tie against the Hillcrest Patriots out of Tuscaloosa. That score ended in a 29-all tie. And Theodore right now 13-0 over the Citronelle Wildcats. That game taking place in Citronelle.
And what a huge sack on the play. And it's going to be a big play by Alex Davis, the junior linebacker, coming in to get the sack.
Right now, if you're LeFlore, after a scoring opportunity like that you were able to take advantage of, it's up to the defense now to come out with just as much energy as the offense gave them. Right now, it resulted in a sack. See what continues to happen here on this drive.
There's going to be a handoff, going to scoot around the rest, and tripped up. Sniper on the roof on the play. Lost his footing, but brought down, and it's going to be a 4th down for the Volunteers at the 20-yard line.
You know, every single time that turf gnome is going to make at least a tackle a game.
He's got to make an appearance.
Yeah, that time, you know, he was out in the flat. Jakari Jackson was surging over to the left side, tripped up well behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 4th down now and about, 20 yards to go here for the Volunteers.
Less than 4 minutes here in our first quarter. The Volunteers with a 7-6 lead, and they're going to have to punt for another time here, facing a 4th and 19. Todd back around the 5-yard line, a low snap, and is going to kick a high one and short inside the Jefferson Davis 50, and it's going to roll to the 50 and touchdown right about there.
Tim, I tell you one thing, the punter actually got away with one, because that was a very, very low snap to the punter. Now, as he fielded that football, Tim, his knee did, from our vantage point, it looked like his knee almost touched the ground. If that would have happened, that would have been a dead ball at that spot. But luckily for him, it must not have been seen by maybe the referee, but he was able to get off a punt, flip field position slightly, put the ball at the 50-yard line for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Ron English and the Rattlers offense come back out on the field in shotgun formation. 2 receivers on each side as he lines up with Leatherwood at the running back spot. Has a man in motion shifting to the right. English rolling to his right, looking downfield for a target, and is just going to loft it over the defender's head, and a completion on the play, bringing it up the field right around that 1st down marker, Howard, as they cross the 40.
Yeah, just a beautiful job there of moving the pocket by Rodney English. Nice play call by the offensive staff to move the pocket. A lot of pressure so far on the quarterback in this first quarter, Tim. Good job of moving the pocket. Even better job of English finding the open target.
Jaquay Roberts making the play, the sophomore receiver. As English comes back out, English scoring the initial touchdown for the Rattlers in their last drive, trying to capitalize and make it another go as he's going to hand off to Leatherwood. He's going to take a shot, but get up the field for a 1st down and then some, around a 6 to 7 yard gain as they get inside the Volunteers' 35-yard line.
Michael Richardson, the senior linebacker for the Volunteers, Tim. This guy is 5'11", 196 pounds. Was not able to stop the running back before he was able to pick up the 1st down. Yardsticks continue to move. Clock continues to move. Good job of stringing together plays in this drive by the Rattlers.
English lining up in the shotgun formation, going to hand off to Leatherwood. He's going to go around the right side and cut up the middle, and it's going to be another strong gain of about 4 yards. Going to be facing a 2nd and 6 upcoming right from the 30-yard line. The Rattlers building some momentum with this second strong drive.
Yeah, Alec Jackson was your tackler on that play, Tim, and as the sun starts to set here in Mobile County, we're hoping that the temperature drops, but what I'm not feeling is the humidity dropping with it. And the longer you keep that Volunteer defense out there, is going to continue to drain these guys, and LeFlore can open up the field and start making some big plays.
English facing a 2nd and 6, drops back, going to get another check down, but tackled immediately on the play as LeFlore is going to get right around that 26-yard line marker.
As we take a look at the replay, Rodney English finds this receiver out in the left flat. Now, did that play go for a lot of yards? Absolutely not. Did that play put another play and time on the field for the defense? Absolutely. It's going to bring up third down now and manageable for the LeFlore Rattlers as they continue this methodical drive that started at the 50-yard line. They're moving it slowly, folks, and they're wearing down, I guarantee you, starting to get a tired defense.
Third and short from around the 26-yard line. English drops back to pass. Another check down to Stewart, but dropped immediately for about a 3-yard loss. It's going to bring up a fourth down at around the 29-yard line.
Yeah, don't be surprised if LeFlore goes for this. They're in too close to punt, and they are away too far to kick a field goal, okay? If they were to attempt a field goal, this would be about a 43-yard field goal. They don't have a kid out there that has that type of leg on him. So, as the quarterback, Rodney English, trots out into the huddle, looks like they're going to go for it here, Tim, on fourth down. 4th and 3 with less than a minute left on the clock here in our first quarter. LeFlore getting closer to the Volunteer red zone, down 7-6 as English and Leatherwood line up in the backfield. It's going to be a simple handoff to James Leatherwood, breaks a couple of tackles, but gets right close to the first down marker, but I'm not sure if he got enough on that one. No, he's going to come up short, and you got to give it to the kid, Leatherwood. As that play developed, very slow developing play. They tried to pull two guards from the left side of the formation to the right side of the formation, tuck the running back in behind those offensive linemen. Very slow developing play. Very quick defense was able to pounce on it, bring him down about maybe 3 yards shy of the first down, Tim. But it goes almost like a very short punt for the LeFlore Rattlers as they turn the ball over on downs back to the Volunteers.
Zarin Haney, the sophomore quarterback, comes back out for the Volunteers. Under center is going to be a shovel pass out to Jackson as he's going to get up the right side and brought down on the play, and a flag's going to come out. Might have been a little bit of a face mask.
Yeah, that's going to be a face mask call there on Cortland Williams as he came in on the tackle of the running back, Jakari Jackson, over here on the right side. So that's going to tack a few more yards onto the end of this run, Tim. But just an unfortunate situation as we get the call now. The face mask penalty from the referee, Sean Kelly.
First down.
We're at 30 seconds left here in our first quarter. Jefferson Davis making a stop on fourth down. They get helped out by that penalty on that first play. And, a little bit of action from both players in the face mask department. But unfortunately, it goes up against LeFlore on that play. And they're going to get about 15 yards, moving them all the way up to around the 44-yard line as Haney takes it. Is going to hand off to his running back, breaks a couple tackles down to the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, and another touchdown by the Volunteers. Their second rushing touchdown of the night, taking the score 13-6 with 14 seconds left here in our first quarter.
Yeah, that was Trevez Bozeman, Tim, on that inside handoff, and actually Jakari Jackson was back for the direct snap in the Wildcat formation, simply handed it off. Great job of blocking up front by the offensive line, and once he was able to get into the secondary, Tim, just a great job by the running back to find an open lane and exploit it all the way downfield, virtually untouched, for a 54-yard touchdown, 2 explosive plays, 14 points, now about to go onto the board for the Volunteers as the point after Tim is up and good for the Volunteers. Great job of running there by the offense.
Jefferson Davis leading 14-6 with 14 seconds left in the game, capitalizing off of 2 running back touchdowns. The first one for about 80 yards. That one, Howard, a stretch in itself, over 50 yards. He broke 1 tackle, Bozeman makes 1 cut, and then he's gone. A lot of speed from this offense of the Volunteers.
Yeah, well, so far we've seen speed from both of their running backs. You know, we saw that 80-yard scamper early in the first quarter, the first play of the first quarter of this game, Tim, an 80-yard scamper by the quarterback, Jakari Jackson, and now another 54-yard touchdown run by Trevez Bozeman for the Volunteers. So there's some leaking going on the second-tier and third-tier defenders for the LeFlore Rattlers, that linebacking core and those defensive backs. They've got to close those lanes. When Bozeman got into the secondary, Tim, he just superior foot speed put him into the end zone. 54 yards later, he's in for a score. And now the new adjusted score here at Lad People Stadium, the Volunteers are up 14-6 over the Rattlers.
Ty Woods lining up to kick this one off for the Volunteers. So they have 14 seconds left here in the first quarter, capitalizing off of that second rushing touchdown. Woods is going to kick another high but short one, and it's going to be taken right around the 15-yard line, brought up the field by LeFlore. It pays one tackle. It looked like a man got in the way for Jerry McKellen on the play. Ran into his own player. McKellen trying to make something happen there, but gets his team all the way back up to around the 33-yard line.
Now, LeFlore was able to do some positive things, Tim, in this first quarter offensively. They were aided on their last scoring drive by a trick play on special teams. Great job. But now you have a tired defense back out there. Can LeFlore continue to push that defense down the field, considering they've been out on the field quite a bit for the majority of this first quarter, considering the fact that the offense has scored so quickly?
English back out in the shotgun formation. 6 seconds to work with here in this first quarter. Is going to be a play-action fake and a handoff to James Leatherwood, who's going to scamper up the middle for about a 9-yard gain, right around that first down marker, but they cross over the 40-yard line, and that'll take us to the end of our first quarter action. Jefferson Davis leading 14-6. We'll be right back with the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week.
Stand still. Stand still. One second. Go, go, go. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV. MCPSS TV features programs spotlighting our schools: Homeroom with Nancy Pierce, MCPSS Athletics with Calvin Christ, On the Move hosted by our students, Cooking with Class, and Community Connections. You can watch MCPSS TV on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T UVerse on Demand Channel 99. And it's coming soon to Mediacom. Communication, it starts with us.
I want to see about this Cooking with Class, because I don't know how to cook. Okay,
if you don't know how to cook?
If it does not have directions on the back of the box of the package, I can't cook it.
How did you get married?
I married somebody who could cook.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you, someone that's cooking right now is Rodney English, just scampering up the field for a huge gain right around about 30 yards, taking him to the opposite side of the field, going to get him to the 30-yard line as we watch English. Another read option play, going up the middle, evading tackles, and being able to utilize his great field vision, and finally brought down by a pile of defenders, but nonetheless another tremendous play by the senior quarterback.
But I want him to practice better ball security. Okay, that ball was kind of flailing out there. You want 3 points of pressure on that football, Tim. Don't want to lose that thing during the tackle.
The Rattlers approaching the Volunteers' red zone once again. It's going to be a handoff to James Leatherwood, getting around the left side, bringing up the field, and a pile of defenders once again as he fights his way up the field for a strong 7-yard gain. The senior running back, James Leatherwood, just another phenomenal run tonight as LeFlore is once again approaching the Volunteers' red zone, trying to get back on the board as they face a 14-6 deficit with 11 minutes left here in our second quarter.
Javier Ruiz and Dontaria Scott combined on that stop of the running back. But again, I like what LeFlore is doing with their offense, Tim. They're not being flashy. They're simply lining up and saying, okay, we're going to come at you with the run option, okay, the read option. Can you stop it? So far, this defense starting to show some small signs of fatigue. Maybe they can push these guys into the end zone.
English with the play action fake, and is going to hand off behind him to a receiver who's going to get up the middle, going to scamper around and to the left side, breaks the tackle, and finally brought down for a first down and then some on the play. Darius Polk coming out of the flanker position all the way on the left side on the end around. English does a great job at masking the play action fake to his two running backs, ultimately to hand off to Polk, and goes up the middle for another big rushing game. It's a rushing night for both of these teams.
Yeah, Javier Ruiz was the last line of defense on that run. Looked like the old Statue of Liberty play a little bit. Maybe just a slight variation on it, but great play call. I like it. I like how they're mixing it up with the play calls for the Rattlers.
English back out with one running back in the backfield, an extra blocking lineman, as it looked like there's going to be a false start. The offensive line trying to get some reads over there, and that's going to back them up 5 yards to around the 15-yard line. An upcoming 1st and 15 as the Rattlers are trying to get back on the board with the potential to tie this game with 10 minutes left here in our second quarter.
It looks like the offensive line gave that play away. Looks like the left guard and the left tackle were going to pull on that play, Tim. They got started just a little bit too early, and we're going to get a timeout here taken by the Volunteers here early in this second quarter.
You're watching the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week as Jefferson Davis leads LeFlore 14-6 with 10 minutes left in the second. Keep it right here for more high school football action.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week presented by School Insights live here on Seymour TV. Whenever you want to see more high school football action, check us out at SeymourSports.net and SeymourTV.net. 10 minutes left here in our second quarter. Jefferson Davis leading LeFlore 14-6, but the Rattlers are knocking on the door in the red zone as they face a 1st and 15 and a strike across the middle, but incompletion. Going to bring up second down. The Rattlers were backed up initially off of a false start penalty as they face 2nd and 15 upcoming on the play. Rodney English trying to get his team back on the board here in our second quarter.
The senior linebacker, DeAndre Hogues, was actually the target in the end zone on that play, Tim. Ball thrown behind the wide receiver and to his defense, when Rodney English rolled out to his right, it is very difficult for a quarterback to get his shoulder square with the line of scrimmage, Tim, and throw back to the left to try to hit the receiver right around the goal line.
Leatherwood and English in the backfield. The shotgun formation, a high snap. English controls it, looks for his target, get a check down, and it's going to be a nice gain of about 7 yards as they are now inside the Volunteers' 10-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and about 9.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now what the offensive staff can come up with here. Maybe they can try to run some type of a draw play, or maybe they can try to run some type of a quarterback keeper straight up the middle, try to do something to get those linebackers out of the middle of the field, open up a running lane for Rodney English, who's probably their best rushing attack tonight. So maybe they can try to somehow spring Rodney English straight up the middle into the end zone, Tim.
Anthony Schamberger trying to get creative right here with another trip into the end zone. English drops back to pass, has pressure in his face, going to evade a couple of defenders, but ultimately brought down by 2 Jefferson Davis defenders all the way back at the 20-yard line. Noah Taylor, another huge play for the Volunteer defense. English had some control issues. To talk about ball security right there, was able to maintain possession, but ultimately Taylor got him in the backfield, and that's going to be another
That is their 3rd
drop
and final timeout of
as
the
they
half.
now face 4th and 20 with less than 9 minutes left here in our second quarter. The Rattlers have a decision to make right now. They're at a point where they're not probably going to be able to kick a field goal, but at this point, Howard, you got to think that they have to go to the air with the distance that they have to face. It's been a rushing night for both sides. You have to get creative every now and then, but at the same time, you got to show a good balance on offense. And tonight, the run game's been working, but it's time for the pass game to step up.
You know, I think that last play there where Rodney where Rodney was sacked on that play. I believe, Tim, that was going to be Rodney English. I believe that was going to be a screen. It was going to be a halfback screen, which means that the offensive linemen have to hold the defensive linemen for a couple of seconds before they allow them into the backfield towards the quarterback. I believe the offensive lineman may have released a little bit too early. Next thing you know, 3 guys are in on top of Rodney English, and it's going to push the line of scrimmage back to the 20-yard line. Whatever play they run here, Tim, is going to have to be something into the end zone via the air. I don't know. Maybe they can try to run a bubble screen on either side of the formation and try to get a wide receiver in space where maybe he can find a free lane and get into the end zone. If not, maybe they can push the offense further back against their goal line with a completion near the end zone.
4th and 20 at the 20 as English comes out. It's going to be a handoff, a double end around, but broken up in the backfield, and that's going to be a turnover at around the 30-yard line as the Volunteers take over once again. And it was Travis Bell that snuck in there and made the tackle after the failed double end around.
Yeah, and almost walked away from it was Darius Polk. Almost came away from that thing injured, but the kid was able to get up and get off of the field under his own power. But, hey, nice job there of penetrating the offensive line, getting into the backfield, disrupting everything that the LeFlore Rattlers wanted to do with that play. And now the Volunteers take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line here, Tim.
Aaron Haney lining up with a fresh set of downs at the 30-yard line. Shotgun formation, going to hand off to his running back. Scampers up the middle, going to break a couple of tackles, and it's going to be Jackson once again to the 40, 45, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Another touchdown for Jakari Jackson, the captain of the Volunteers. His 2nd touchdown of the night, and it comes in the 2nd quarter. He had the opening touchdown for 80 yards, and right there, another huge run for about another 70 yards. Jackson exploding tonight. The senior making a lot of plays for his team. 2
touchdown runs, 150 yards. If that isn't efficient, I don't know what is.
Can he play on my fantasy football team?
If we were drafting, yes. Okay. But we still got a little bit of time left, so just hold on.
All right. It's only the 2nd quarter. But you have to be impressed with his ability, his vision. He's able to evade a couple of tackles right there as the Volunteers are going to get another point on the board by Ty Woods. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left here in our 2nd quarter. The Volunteers now with a nice 21-6 lead over LeFlore. You're listening to the Mobile County High School Football Game of the Week. The Volunteers of Jefferson Davis leading LeFlore 21-6. Keep it right here.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on C4 TV, as the Jefferson Davis Volunteers lead the LeFlore Rattlers 21-6 with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left here in our 2nd quarter. And it's going to be another huge kickoff by Ty Woods of the Volunteers, a touchback on the play, as LeFlore is going to come out for another offensive series trying to get back on the board. However, their last couple of series have resulted in the red zone, but not able to finish on coming up with 4th downs.
You know, and when you're playing a team like Jeff Davis, who so far have pretty much owned the line of scrimmage, and when it comes to carrying the football, they have just done a phenomenal job. Huge runs of 80 yards for a touchdown, 70 yards for a touchdown, and 54 yards for a touchdown. So it's really, really big right now that LeFlore is able to keep this defense out here, because I'm pretty sure they're telling the offense, Jeff Davis, look, guys, can you string together some plays so we can get a rest?
Rodney English coming back out once again in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Going to take a quick snap, going to run to his right, has a couple of lead blockers, gets a key block from Leatherwood as he's going to get up the field to around the 30-yard line, just short of the 1st down marker.
You know, I like what the quarterback As Tim here on the quarterback keeper, look at the patience that he shows to set up blocks. But see, this is what you don't want to see from your quarterback. You don't want to see him take all of that punishment outside of the tackles. When the first defender comes and wraps him up, you want your quarterback to just go down to the ground. We're going to need you for the next play. But right now, Rodney English is absorbing a lot of punishment once he gets outside of that pocket.
Second and short with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left here in our second quarter. Rodney English lining up, takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to James Leatherwood, who's going to get up the field for the first down, and that's about it. As he crosses the 30-yard line, it'll be a fresh set of downs for the Rattlers on the upcoming play, as Rodney English has now fallen down. Or rather, might be a little bit of a heat exhaustion. Hopefully it's just minor.
Well, yeah, let's hope that is the case as we get an injury timeout here from the officials. And, you know, it's kind of difficult to speculate exactly what's going on, Tim, but he took a punishing blow on that previous play when he got outside the tackles. At least 2 guys held him up while another defender came in late and gave him a shot. He was standing straight up and down. It's possible he may have gotten the wind knocked out of him, could have possibly gotten a stinger, as we start to look at some more scores that are trickling in from games that are going on around the area.
Baker leading Williamson right now 14-0 in the second quarter. The Baker Hornets have an impressive unit this year. We'll get to see him a couple of times this season on Seymour TV. As St. Paul's leading Bryant 17-0. Steve Mask's unit over there in the second quarter, a dominating performance so far. Theodore controlling their game against Citronelle 21-0 in the second quarter action. Eric Collier and LaMichael Pirine over there trying to make something happen, get some momentum, and get that team into the playoffs, as BC Rain leading Benjamin Russell 15-0 in the second quarter. Tellis Stone really rebuilding that program over at BC Rain, trying to spark and carry that momentum that he established in his first season last year.
Yeah, and he has some beautiful renovations done to BC Rain. I don't know if you already seen them out there at the school out there. As we also, and this is a game that's going to take place tomorrow night. That's Blunt and Viger. Huge battle.
Huge battle.
Huge battle in the city of Pritchard. So the whole city more than likely will be turning out for that football game at Pritchard Stadium.
I might have to go to that one. First set of downs is now Leatherwood's going to take the ball, and he's going to get up the field for about a 6-yard gain on the play. So they're going to get right around that 40-yard line marker. Looks like James Leatherwood. Luckily, in LeFlore's position, he got 2 quarterbacks that are worthy of manning the position. Leatherwood playing running back, but in the wake of Rodney English going down, now he might be playing a little more of his original position from last season at the quarterback spot.
Well, he's over on the sidelines, and they're trying to put some fluids in him, Tim. So it's a possibility he may have just been cramping. Let's hope that that's the diagnosis for Rodney English, and maybe he can get back in the football game.
Leatherwood lining up under center is going to hand off to his running back, get up the field, and he's going to be brought down right around the 48-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, that was Zion Gilbert coming down from that defensive back position, Tim, to fill the rushing lane for the, against the LeFlore Rattlers. And right now, this defense is just making the offense, just be virtually stagnant. Now, another methodical drive being put together here right now by the LeFlore Rattlers. Now, do drives like that take energy out of defense? Yeah, but it also takes energy out of your offense.
James Leatherwood in the second and about 4 is going to keep it on the ground himself, and he's going to get about a 2-yard gain as they approach the 50-yard line. As we approach 6 minutes remaining here in our second quarter, the Jefferson Davis Volunteers leading the LeFlore Rattlers 21-6, as it's been a battle on the ground the entire night, Howard.
Yeah, and really no reason to put the ball up a whole lot. Neither defense has really been able to shut down the other team's rushing attack, and we knew that coming into the nice ball game. Again, both teams very similar offense, read option style of an offense. So right now, LeFlore, very important 3rd down for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Jacoby Green, the running back for the Rattlers, in the backfield with James Leatherwood, as he's going to get the handoff this time. No, Leatherwood's going to keep it on a play-action keeper, and he's going to get up the field on 3rd and 3, and that's more than enough for a fresh set of downs as they get into Volunteer territory at the 41.
Yeah, just a great job of selling the play fake, finding a crease and exploiting it that time was the running back, James Leatherwood, and he was able to surge downfield, Tim, pick up enough for a 1st down, keep the sticks moving as we get a timeout here taken on the field.
And it looks like Leatherwood came up a little shaken off that play. You're watching the Mobile County High School Football Game of the Week. with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left here in our second quarter. Jefferson Davis leading LeFlore 21-6. Keep it right here.
I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still. 1 second. Just okay, go, go, go. Nice. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV between the Jefferson Davis Volunteers and the LeFlore Rattlers. As Rodney English back into the game at quarterback, comes out in a check down pass over to his running back. Jacoby Jones is going to get up the field on the left side, and it's going to bring an upcoming 2nd and short as the Rattlers continue to inch closer to the Volunteers' red zone, trying to get back onto the board, Howard, as they face a 21-6 deficit.
Yeah, they may want to try to script some plays now, Tim, with their quarterback Rodney English to keep this kid safe. He's 6'5", but he's only 175 pounds, Tim. That's not a lot of meat on a 6'5" frame, so they need to try to figure out a way to keep him in the pocket and keep him safe.
Green in the backfield as English completes a pass over the middle. They're going to an incompletion on the play as the receiver had 2 defenders draped all over him. Is going to bring an upcoming 3rd and about 10. Darius Polk was the intended receiver on the play. English dropping back to pass. Green late on the pickup block on that one, and then an incompletion falling as Ladarius Babies.
Love the last name.
Making a play. Is that the name of the night, Ladarius Babies?
I've been wanting to say that kid's last name all night. It's just so cute. Ladarius Babies.
Wow.
What's cuter than babies? Oh, puppies. Puppies, right?
I can't deal with you right now. English back in the shotgun formation. A high snap, controls it, and a strike over to Stewart, his intended receiver, who's going to get up the field. And it's going to be close to that first down marker. They're going to take a look at it.
And they're going to rotate Rodney English. Well, you know what? I thought he was going to come out of the football game. He's just coming over to the sideline, I believe, to get the play call. But I want to keep an eye on him for the remainder of the first quarter, for the first half, with 4:07 remaining. I want to keep an eye on him because I want to look at his body language. I want to see if he's starting to show signs of fatigue or if he was actually injured on that series where they brought him out. Will he start to show signs of that injury that may or may not be there showing up in his passes or him running the football? So I'm going to keep an eye on him tonight.
Well, not just battling inexperience at this point for players in the season, but battling the heat. And
Exactly.
That's what you have to keep up with when you're running around that much. Rodney English in the pistol formation is going to roll out to his left, look down the field, throws a strike, a catch by Stewart, but out of bounds on the play. An athletic move, but it's going to nonetheless be an incompletion and bring up a 2nd and 10 as the clock stops with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left here in our second quarter. Jefferson Davis defending a 21-6 lead, but LeFlore knocking on the door of the red zone once again.
Yeah, just not a lot of room to work with that Rodney English nor his intended wide receiver have on the short side of the field. That's the side of the field that Rodney English rolled out to. Not a lot of real estate to work with. Took the wide receiver way out of bounds on that play.
English comes out on a 2nd down with 3 receivers to his left. A play action fake, going to roll out to his right, look down the field and throws a strike, and it's going to be a completion on the play to Stewart as he's going to be knocked around a couple of defenders, dragged back to around the 35-yard line, and the referees are just going to blow that one dead.
Yeah, you know, and we're going to look at it here on the replay. As Rodney English rolls out to his right side, they aren't giving him an opportunity to get set, but he still is able to get the ball downfield to his wide receiver. Now here, pretty much the play is over. Your tackle. Just go down, okay? You're going to risk an injury if you try to fight for those last couple of, inches on the field. Just go ahead and go down, line up for the next play. You don't want to get yourself injured out here on a very humid night here at Lad People Stadium.
D'Angelo Stewart has been the most favorable target of Rodney English tonight as he comes out in single coverage right at the bottom of your screen. English line up, a high snap, rolls to his left, has good blocking, another strike to Stewart over the middle, and almost an interception by the Volunteer secondary. A tip, he had Stewart across the middle, tipped off of his fingers, and it was almost intercepted by Michael Richardson, the senior linebacker, trying to make a play. As we see English rolling out to his left, has good blocking right in his blind side, throws over the middle, has Stewart, it's a tip, and it was almost taken away by Richardson on the play as the clock will stop with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in our second quarter, and LeFlore has another 4th down attempt coming up.
Yeah, you would have loved to have seen D'Angelo Stewart haul that football in. A lot of people believe that as a wide receiver, if that ball hits you in the hands, that should be a catch.
English backing up, has a lot of pressure coming from his left side, a strike over the middle, and a dropped pass by D'Angelo Stewart on the play. And frustrated and settling in as there's a flag in the backfield. It looks like a little bit of maybe unnecessary roughness as English went down a little bit too much after he delivered the ball on that last play.
Yeah, we're going to get the indication here from the head referee, Sean Kelly, but that's exactly what it is, Tim. It's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer against the Volunteers, which is going to bring that defense back onto the field.
On the defense,
that's going to continue the drive
15-yard penalty.
For the Rattlers.
Result of the penalty will be a 1st down.
Sean Kelly, the head referee, indicating the 1st down for the Rattlers as they're going to get another chance with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to work with here. No timeouts left for the Rattlers as they face a 21-6 deficit.
Wait a minute. Tim, okay, it's a spot foul, so they're going to mark off the 15 yards from the spot where the foul took place.
Mobile County Public School students are getting hands-on exposure and training in careers readily available locally through our signature academies. We have aviation and aerospace at BC Rain, healthcare at Blunt, coastal studies at Bryant, advanced industry, manufacturing, and technology at Citronelle, teaching and learning at MGM, international studies at Murphy, industry and engineering at Theodore, and maritime engineering and entrepreneurship at Williamson. Get you ready for the real world. It starts with us. As another handoff, this time James Leatherwood back into the game at running back and a cut up of the middle, and he's going to drag defenders with him. James Leatherwood, absolutely phenomenal. Last year, playing quarterback, gets converted over at running back by his decision, packs on some muscle in the offseason, getting right around that 200-pound range, and it's showing off tonight as he's been dragging the defenders of the Jefferson Davis Volunteer defense.
And his field vision was phenomenal. His patience was even better than that. Got in behind his blocks, rode those big bodies downfield for a huge clip of about 8 yards on that 1st down run. Nice job on the nice pickup.
English and Leatherwood less than 2 minutes to work with. It's going to be another handoff to Leatherwood as he runs over his own teammate on the play, and he's going to get his 4 yards. James Leatherwood running with some purpose, runs over his own offensive lineman, but nonetheless gets a positive gain on the play, and they're at the 20-yard line knocking on the door once again. It's not that the LeFlore Rattlers can't get to the red zone, it's the finishing, and that's what they've got to figure out early on if Anthony Schamberger wants to get this team over the hump and back into the playoffs and further.
James Leatherwood wanted that 1st down so bad that he knocked over his pulling guard. Big Dwayne Healy, 6'1", 295 pounds, but my God, he knocked him over like he was like 5'11", 110. Just a strong, strong effort there by Leatherwood.
They're going to give him a fresh set of downs at the 20 as English takes a high snap, and it's a quick strike over to Stewart, and it's a reception. No, it's another incompletion. And frustration has to be setting in for D'Angelo Stewart. That's 3 targets in a row for him that he hasn't been able to convert for his offense. But he stayed with it, great mindset, and right now in an upcoming 2nd and 10 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left here in the 1st quarter as the clock stops, the Rattlers trying to get back onto the board before halftime.
Yeah, D'Angelo Stewart, you have to catch that football with your hands, my friend. You got to grab that football and squeeze it with your fingers and hold on to possession. That time the ball just trickled right between his arms, hit the turf.
English with a snap in the shotgun formation, looking for Stewart again. A completion this time, and drags the defender out of bounds, gets out of bounds. No, they will continue to roll the clock, but a completion nonetheless for the senior receiver, D'Angelo Stewart.
Tim, here, watch the hands, and we kind of got the replay a little bit late there, but if you were able to see it on the replay, he caught that ball with his hands, didn't let the ball get to his pads like we saw on an earlier play where the ball just got to his pads and rattled around and it fell incomplete. Nice job there by Stewart by using his hands, squeezing the football, and securing possession.
40 seconds remaining and counting here in the second quarter. No timeouts for the Rattlers offense as English has to work quickly. Third down, looking to his left, looking across the middle, has pressure, rolls out to his right, looking downfield, taking it himself, trips it, the ball is loose. It's a fumble on the play, and there's a dog pile, and it looks like it's going to be a pile over around the 5-yard line, trying to figure out who's going to get possession of the ball. It bounced in so many directions. The Volunteers are signaling that they have it. Let's see what the referees will signal. They're calling off to make sure on that one. They have the pile down there, and it will be a signal. A signal for the Volunteers. That is a turnover on the play. We talked about ball security. There's a flag, down at the 12-yard line. Now, we'll have to see what happened with this.
Yeah, we're going to see Rodney English do a great job of getting away from pressure by rolling out to his right. Now, as he surges upfield, he finds a crease and steps on his own man and gets tripped up. Ball comes flying out. It gets kicked around by a few people, and it looked like LeFlore had a great shot at getting the football back. It did not happen. That penalty was against LeFlore. It was holding, so it's gonna be declined. So the Volunteers are gonna take over, Tim, 1st and 10 around their own 10-yard line. Only 13 seconds remaining here in the first quarter here at Lad People Stadium.
And we might just see a knee down, as it's been a dominating performance by the Jeff Davis Volunteer offense. 2 explosive rushing touchdowns that got them onto the board. Starting off with Ja'Carry Jackson, he had 2 of them. He starts off the game with an 80-yard touchdown run. Then Rodney English comes with his own touchdown scramble to get the Rattlers on the board. A missed point after. Then another 57-yard touchdown run by Bozeman, the running back for the Volunteers, only to be followed up by Ja'Carry Jackson with a 70-yard touchdown run. Ja'Carry Jackson leading the Volunteers to their 21-6 lead here at our halftime for the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
So, what did your child eat at school today? Well, if you're looking for answers, we have them right here. I'm Suzanne Yates, the Food Service Director for the Mobile County Public School System, and I would like to invite you to join me for Cooking with Class, the child nutrition show from the Mobile County Public School System. Come with me as I go into the school cafeterias and talk to the folks who prepare the meals daily for our children. Join me as we go Cooking with Class.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights Live here on Seaboard TV. Tim Finnegan, Howard McCain at halftime for our blockbuster matchup between the Jeff Davis Volunteers and the LeFlore Rattlers. And Howard, the Volunteers explosive, especially with the running game, 21-6, and it all starts with their senior captain, Ja'Carry Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, one play, 80 yards. Can't get more efficient than that. And the kid has continued that all night. He's done a great job of being patient. He's so small. that he's able to get in behind his blocks as some scores start to trickle in here from our preseason action that took place last night.
Murphy with a dominating performance over Enterprise in Rick Colley's debut with the Panthers, 40-13 last night here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. An explosive display of offense, especially from the Duke commit quarterback, DeBrice Turner. Daphne coming away with a 14-6 victory over Davidson, a battle between two storied programs, and Glenn Vickery versus Fred Riley. FGM and Mike Dean's welcoming home game takes on Hillcrest and ties it up at 29. They lost their starting quarterback within the first half, but backup quarterback comes in. O'Shea throws 3 touchdowns to get their team back into the game, only to end it on a safety in the end zone, ties it up, and that's after a 20-point deficit in the first half. Tonight's games, Baker in action against Williamson, dominated at home, 21-0 at halftime, as Jack French is trying to get his Hornets back into the playoffs. St. Paul's taking on Bryant, a dominating performance by the Saints offense, 24-0, trying to make a statement of their own with all the new realignments happening. Theodore, a dominating performance at Citronelle tonight, 28-0 behind the explosive and electric offense of LaMichael Pirine, the junior running back for the Bobcats. We'll see, and also BC Rain with a 15-0 lead over Benjamin Russell at halftime. Tellis Stone and the Red Raider Nation trying to get something to carry over the momentum that they built up last season with a lot of changes. And don't miss out on one of the biggest rivals in the state of Alabama, heck, in the entire country, as the Blunt Leopards take on the Viger Wolves tomorrow night from Pritchard Stadium.
Yeah, a lot of shutouts being pitched tonight all across Mobile County in a lot of these matchups. Now, people from the outside may look at the scoreboard where the Volunteers lead the LeFlore Rattlers by a score of 21-6 here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. You would think that this game hasn't been competitive, but actually, Tim, it has been competitive. What has happened is that the Volunteers just were able to capitalize on a couple of very big plays in this game to push the lead up to 21-6 as we enjoy the halftime festivities down on the field right now being provided to us by the LeFlore Rattler Marching Band.
Don't you get a little pumped up with the band going and all
Of
that?
course,
I mean,
of
sometimes
course.
when I'm driving to the stadium, I just like to listen to the tracks of it.
We know what? Let's take a minute and let's listen to the band as they perform for us here at halftime at Ladd-Peebles Stadium.
I'm trying to learn this dance they got going on
You
over
can't
here.
do it. Leave it alone. No, Tim. Stop it. You're embarrassing me.
Oh, the camera's rolling? Okay. Keep it right here for more high school football action with the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, live from Ladd-Peebles Stadium.
So, what did your child eat at school today? Well, if you're looking for answers, we have them right here. I'm Suzanne Yates, the Food Service Director for the Mobile County Public School System, and I would like to invite you to join me for Cooking with Class, the child nutrition show from the Mobile County Public School System. Come with me as I go into the school cafeterias and talk to the folks who prepare the meals daily for our children. Join me as we go Cooking with Class.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, live from Ladd Peoples Stadium. Tim Finnegan alongside Howard McCain, and halftime coverage. The first half of this game, Howard, Jefferson Davis Volunteers, an explosion from the running attack. And I'll tell you, carrying into the second half, the LeFlore Rattlers have to be liking the momentum they built getting into the red zone so many times. Now they have to just finish off and get into the end zone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the offensive staff doesn't have anything to be ashamed of for the LeFlore Rattlers tonight. Yeah, they've had some unfortunate incidences, you know, with the defense giving up a couple of long runs to the Volunteers. But other than that, they played a very competitive game. And it's been a good game, been a very great game to watch and to broadcast here. Our inaugural broadcast here, Tim, with the Mobile County Public School System. I'm enjoying it. It's been great. And, you know, I'm looking forward to a very competitive second half.
Well, it's a new experience for everyone, and it's a new experience for a lot of the players on the field, just trying to get the simple things down and looking at some of the new things that are happening with the Mobile County Public School System, especially on the gridiron. New regional alignments, as you see right here, the new 5A Region 1, Viger, Williamson, and BC Rain all competing with the likes of St. Paul's and Jackson. St. Paul's in action tonight against Bryant, having a dominant performance in the first half. BC Rain winning their game. Williamson trailing Baker, and Viger will have their game tomorrow night as they take on the Blunt Leopards.
You know, and as we switch here to the 6A region, stacked region, Baldwin County, Blunt, Citronelle, Gulf Shores, LeFlore, Robertsdale, Saraland, and Spanish Fort. That is a stacked region. There is some very strong competition in that region. LeFlore in that region this year, in that 6A region, are going to have their pretty much everything just cut out for them. Very strong from Spanish Fort there. Saraland, we saw them last year. They were outstanding. You also have Daphne, who's a perennial power year in and year out. And Blunt, we've seen a resurgence at Blunt over the past few years. So that's a very stacked region, very tough region as we move over to 7A.
7A may be some of the toughest and most traditional programs in the Mobile area, but 6A carries in with their new alignment 6 playoff teams from 2013.
Wow.
As we look at 7A, a lot of perennial playoff contenders. Alma Bryant, Baker trying to get back into the playoffs after missing out last season, but they were spoilers for a lot of teams in the second half. The Davidson Warriors losing to Daphne last night, but Fred Riley has only missed the playoffs twice out of the last 10 years. Fairhope, Foley being merged into the alignment when Blunt actually shifts down out of the crowd, and so Fairhope and Foley, great programs to be added into 7A. Mary G. Montgomery, you have to be excited about what's been happening with Mike Dean and a lot of the other programs, the Murphy-McGill rivalry, and Theodore in action dominating right now as we go to the field for the LeFlore Rattlers band. As we carry on with 9 minutes remaining before the start of the second half, you're watching the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week. 21-6. Halftime. Keep it right here for more high school football action from the Mobile County Public School System.
So, what did your child eat at school today? Well, if you're looking for answers, we have them right here. I'm Suzanne Yates, the Food Service Director for the Mobile County Public School System, and I would like to invite you to join me for Cooking with Class, the child nutrition show from the Mobile County Public School System. Come with me as I go into the school cafeterias and talk to the folks who prepare the meals daily for our children. Join me as we go Cooking with Class.
Welcome back to halftime coverage of the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week. Jeff Davis leading LeFlore 21-6 as the LeFlore Rattlers marching band is taking over halftime right now. Keep it right here for second half action coming up next for the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week.
I've bought smartboard, that's right.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Nonviolence will start with me.
Nonviolence will start with me.
All across the Mobile County Public School System, students are taking the pledge.
I pledge to accept the responsibility of my actions.
To solve problems peacefully.
Respect myself and others.
The 100 Days of Nonviolence Pledge. It's an initiative to help explore alternative means of stopping violence among school students. Will you take the challenge? Get involved. Take a stand. 100 days, 100 ways.
The quality of education that I received from the Mobile County Public School System really prepared me for global success. Being an international opera singer, I get to travel all across the world. And one of the most important aspects about that is being able to communicate and work with people. And the Mobile County Public School System really equipped me to be greatly successful worldwide.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights Live here on Seymour TV, as the Jeff Davis Volunteers lead the LeFlore Rattlers 21-6. And Howard, the tale of the first half was the running game for both of these teams.
Yeah, big plays defined the entire first half, with the majority of the big plays coming from the offense of the Volunteers of Jeff Davis. Huge touchdown runs of 80 yards, 70 yards, 54 yards, where these backs able to find creases, Tim, and get into the end zone for the Volunteers. On the other side of the ball, huge play in the special teams for the LeFlore Rattlers, which set them up for their score, an 8-yard scamper into the end zone by quarterback Rodney English. Later on in the second half, Tim, we start to see both teams kind of wear down a little bit. I think the heat started to get to both teams. We started to see some fundamentals kind of slip a little bit as they went into the halftime. But as it come out now, guys are a little bit more refreshed. The humidity is still pretty high, as we can feel it up here in the press box. So, which team has the juice to finish the second half? We're going to find out here very shortly.
Two of the key leaders for the Rattlers discussing the strategies and the adjustments. DeAndre Ray, number 3, the senior linebacker, and Rodney English, the senior quarterback of the Rattlers tonight. The key thing to keep in mind is that the fact that the Rattlers were able to get into the red zone so many times, but now they have to find a way to get past that because they find themselves too many times on 4th down, Howard, and it's 4th and long.
Yeah, and they have to find a way to get the ball into the end zone other than by the legs of Rodney English. We saw him take a hit early on in the second quarter, Tim, that kind of rattled him, but he was able to come back into the football game and finish up the second quarter as we sit now with the halftime score still sitting at 21-6.
Second half action coming up next between Jeff Davis and LeFlore in the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, live from Ladd Peoples Stadium.
I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still. One second. Go, go, go. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to second half coverage of the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights Live here on Seymour TV, as the Jefferson Davis Volunteers have a 21-6 lead over the LeFlore Rattlers. It's been a tale of a lot of halves in the first half. What happens was, as a lot of attacks on the ground, with the rushing attack for both of these offenses, exploding rushing touchdowns by the running backs of the Volunteers, while LeFlore, staying consistently getting into the Volunteer red zone, has to figure out how to get past that, as they have the quarterback duo of James Leatherwood and Rodney English. Both had a little bit of injury scares in the first half, Howard, but it seems that they've gotten over that, and now it's time to try to get back onto the scoreboard as we're about to kick off the second half.
Yeah, we saw the explosive plays happen with the Volunteers in the first half, Tim, right up the middle of the field. So it's up to the defensive staff to make those adjustments. Maybe maybe they're going to have to start walking a safety down from his position, down closer to the line of scrimmage, Tim, to help fill up those gaps in the middle of that defense in between both linebackers. Maybe they can help control this offensive attack on the ground of the Volunteers, get the ball back into the hands of the offense and Rodney English, and maybe try to get themselves back into this football game. It's not out of reach. There's still a whole lot of football game left to be played here, Tim, as we get ready for the third quarter kickoff. LeFlore elected to kick the football off in the first half to the Volunteers. So to start the second half, LeFlore will receive as Leatherwood and McClellan go back to receive this opening second half kickoff from the kicker for the Volunteers, Ty Woods.
Woods has been consistently been putting it into the back of the end zone.
Right.
A lot of touchbacks, not a lot of returns for the Rattlers special teams, as James Leatherwood is back there right around the 10-yard line looking to receive. He's been all over the place tonight, but that's the role that he asked Anthony Schoenberger and spring camp to assume, so that way he can fill multiple roles for his team. There's going to be a high kick. It looks like there's going to be a whistle, and they're going to blow it dead on the play. It looks like there might have been a little bit of a quick start over there, offsides in the alignment around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we'll get the call, the official call from the referee, and I believe that's what it's going to be, Tim. Looks like a couple of guys.
5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Yeah, and the referee just confirmed that it was offsides. A couple of guys got started a little early for Jeff Davis, so it's going to back them up 5 more yards, Tim, from the 40 to their own 35-yard line. So that's 5 yards of field position that they surrendered back to the LeFlore Rattlers. Can they do something with it, Tim, on this opening kickoff? It would be huge if they could for their confidence coming out early in the second half if they get a big return from either Leatherwood or McClellan here on this kickoff.
Well, Woods kicked a short one, and Leatherwood was going right to him with a 5-yard backup on the play. Woods is going to be kicking the ball off, and it's a high short one right around the 20-yard line. It's going to take a bounce. LeFlore's got to pick it up, bring it out to around the 25, and brought down right around the 28-yard line as Jerry McKellen making a play for the Rattlers, and that's where LeFlore will start the second half as they try to get on the board once again. Their first touchdown came at the feet of senior quarterback Rodney English on a quarterback keeper, and now they haven't had an issue to get to the 20-yard line. It's just trying to get over the hump, and hopefully Anthony Schoenberger was able to convey some type of message to his offense at halftime on how to be able to do that.
Yeah, looked like the offense was about to try to hang a six points on the defense going into the half, but an unfortunate incident there where Rodney English fumbled the football and turned the ball over to the Volunteers late in the second quarter.
English lines up with 2 receiving options to his left, but he's going to start off with a handoff to James Leatherwood, who's going to fight his way up the field, crossing the 30 for about a 3-yard gain, second and 7 on the upcoming play.
Yeah, want to try to test the inside of that defense before you try to test the edges. They want to try to bait the linebackers down inside, making them think that they're going to continue to test the middle of that defense. Next thing you know, maybe a bubble screen on the outside, maybe the corners, or maybe the linebackers are late getting out there, and maybe they can spring a big play.
English has been targeting the senior receiver D'Angelo Stewart all night as he's going to have another handoff to James Leatherwood, who fumbles the ball and is able to fall on it.
Are you serious?
A little bit of a fumble-rooski, but
serious?
nonetheless a huge gain on the play for about 25-plus yards. Leatherwood on the last play, he has the streamline to get all the way up the field untouched, fumbles the ball himself a little bit, but nonetheless able to recover, as we see right here, breaking 3 tackles. The ball comes out as he tried to shrug off a defender, but he landed on it. The coaches have to be happy. Fresh set of downs as Rodney English is going to keep it himself. He's going to get up the field for about a quick 5-yard gain, going to get him inside the 35-yard line of the Volunteers.
You know, sometimes in football, skill does end up winning a lot of times, but sometimes in football, Tim, you need some luck. that time on that long run by the running back, Leatherwood, he had a very lucky fortuitous bounce on that fumble. As a matter of fact, the ball actually scooted ahead about 10 yards after he fumbled it. So good job of concentrating on the football, Tim, and covering it up and keeping possession for LeFlore.
You know that's how they drew it up.
Of course.
Of course. And it's another handoff. Once again, James Leatherwood up the middle. This time about a 3-yard gain as they get closer to that 30-yard marker. And now it's going to be 3rd and about 3 on the upcoming play as the Rattlers try to convert yet again another first down.
Yeah, you want to start to see these offensive linemen full of LeFlore, Tim, stay engaged on their blocks, okay? You want these guys to continue to block somebody all the way through the whistle. Right now, LeFlore's offensive line kind of blocking guys and then just letting them go.
English with the high snap, check down to his receiver. He's going to break 1 tackle, 2 tackles, get up the sidelines. He's down to the 10, inside the 10, and pushed out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Another huge play by Darius Polk, the senior slot receiver. We've seen a lot of explosive plays out of Polk tonight, and we saw an end around in the first half. Right here is a simple screen pass. He gets around and has enough vision to evade 1 defender, 2 defenders, stiff arm, breaks out of that one, 3, and finally wrestled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line of the Volunteers.
Bit of a hole there, downfield blocking by D'Angelo Stewart. Wasn't seen by the referees, and if the referees didn't see it, guess what? It didn't happen.
And it appears we have an injury on the sidelines over here for the Volunteers. Zion Gilbert, the sophomore defensive back, seems to be cramping up as the medical staff is over there on the sidelines trying to work with him, and it looks like he's going to be able to walk off on his own. That's a great sign for Zion Gilbert.
Tim, you can just tell by the way he's walking, that's strictly cramps. Thankfully, that's just all it is. That is, it's not a knee or an ankle or something like that. But, yeah, it's an awfully, awfully humid night here in Mobile, Alabama. And if these kids did not properly hydrate themselves, not tonight, but yesterday, preparing for tonight, then it's going to be really difficult to keep enough fluids in your body, Tim, that's going to keep you from cramping throughout the night. And we'll probably start to see that happen a little bit more as this game continues to dwindle on, because right now LeFlore has mounted yet another methodical drive, got the ball inside the red zone, but can they cash in?
Well, they're hoping to this time as Rodney English and James Leatherwood line up in the backfield in the shotgun formation. Going to be a handoff to Leatherwood. He's going to fight his way up the middle, continues to push defenders. His line's trying to help him out, and he's going to get a small gain of about 3 yards on the play. He's going to bring up 2nd down right around that 5-yard line as the Rattlers are trying to punch it in and get back into this game and get back on the scoreboard as they trail 21-6 with 9 minutes left here in our 3rd quarter.
And I like the effort from the guys, Tim. Even after Leatherwood was wrapped up, guys came into the pile and continued to push the pile for another 2 yards. These guys want to get the football into the end zone so they can get back into this football game, and they know it's going to take maximum effort. That time it was shown by the offensive line. Can they finish this drive is the question.
The ever dangerous Darius Polk lining up in the slot as English is going to run to his side over to the left. Stiff arms 1 defender, tried to get some help from D'Angelo Stewart on the block, but pushed out of bounds. And he's going to lose a yard or 2 in the upcoming 3rd down.
Tim, too much sideline to sideline speed for the Volunteer defense. That time they were able, first of all, to surge upfield, force Rodney English to run parallel to the line of scrimmage, and superior sideline to sideline speed, they were able to catch up with him and get him out of bounds, keep him well short of getting into the end zone. So far for the LeFlore Rattlers, running north and south against this defense has helped them the most. The best way to neutralize speed, Tim, not to run away from it, run straight at it.
Well, it's 2-down territory for the LeFlore Rattlers as James Leatherwood comes off the field, switching out with Jacoby Green, the new running back, as English comes out, and it's a quick strike across the middle, and It's a touchdown.
Very nice.
To D'Angelo Stewart. Rodney English with his 2nd touchdown of the night, his 1st passing touchdown, and it goes to his fellow senior, D'Angelo Stewart.
Tim, just a quick slant run by the wide receiver on the left side of the formation. Great job by the quarterback, Rodney English, to find him, hit him with a strike in his hands, not at his numbers, hit him in the hands, and he was able to waltz into the end zone, Tim, for 6 as LeFlore lines up to go for 2 after they put that 6 on the board.
James Leatherwood back onto the field at the running back position, and this time it's going to be a quick handoff. He's going to get up the middle and into the end zone. Chester Williams, the backup running back, scoring that point after getting into the end zone. And that is going to take LeFlore score to 14 with 8:28 left here in our third quarter. LeFlore gets on the board with a passing touchdown from Rodney English to D'Angelo Stewart, taking our score. Jeff Davis 21, LeFlore 14. Third action coming up more here on the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to third quarter action of the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV. Jeff Davis leading 21-14, but not after Rodney English was able to throw a touchdown strike to D'Angelo Stewart, getting the Rattlers back on the board for English's second touchdown of the night, as D'Angelo Stewart gets ready to kick this one off. And it's going to be a short one right across the middle. Jeff Davis is going to pick it up around the 30-yard line, and is going to evade a couple of tackles, but ultimately brought down by LeFlore. Last couple of times they've kicked off deep. They've paid for it right about there. They get about a 10-yard return. Jeff Davis gets up to the 40-yard line as Stewart just tried to squib that one.
Yeah, Tim, after your offense has gone out there and got you back to the football game, you know, I'm not a coach, but this isn't really the way I want to start the team that I'm trying to get back into the football game with this way. You don't want to kick it short, Tim, and give these guys a short field to work with. They're going to start this drive, Jeff Davis, at their own 42-yard line. Kicking that thing deep would have been huge.
8 minutes and 21 seconds left here in our third quarter. Jefferson Davis leading 21-14 after that last LeFlore touchdown. And it's going to be a fumble on the play, and LeFlore's going to recover. And they're going to take it up to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown. And who else but DeAndre Hogues, the standout junior defensive end, make it a huge play, and the Rattlers are 1 point after away from tying this ball game.
Tim, we've been waiting on him to show up all night. Mishandle right there on the handoff by Jeff Davis. That was Zarian Haney. Ball hit the turf. Next thing you know, he pounces on it quickly. Is DeAndre Hogues. Nothing but a convoy with him. Get him into the end zone. And this game is a ball game again, Tim. Just like that, the Vols are only up by a single point. Now, we know LeFlore is not going to kick the point after. We know they're going to go for two. That would be huge to get themselves on top in this football game. Wow, what a play.
And the Rattler Nation is letting them hear it, as everyone has just exploded into the stands right now after that huge touchdown by Hogue, a fumble recovery of about 30 yards, and he's got his team in position, one conversion away from possibly taking the lead.
Now, this two-point conversion is coming up, Tim. The starting quarterback, Rodney English, is on the sideline, and we're going to get a timeout here taken by the coaching staff. A lot of confusion over here on the sideline by the LeFlore Rattlers. Very smart timeout, because this could be a big play, Tim. This could give you the lead here in the third quarter of this football game.
Mobile County Public School students are using technology in the classroom every day to enhance learning. All of our academic classrooms have smart boards and wireless internet. Students complete class assignments and projects on tablets, laptops, and other electronic devices. And now all students have access to 1 terabyte of cloud storage and Microsoft Office products at home and on the go. Innovation in the classroom, it starts with us. And this second half, Howard, has started with an explosion from the LeFlore sidelines. First with the quick strike from Rodney English to D'Angelo Stewart for the 6-yard touchdown pass, and then a huge 30-yard fumble recovery touchdown, scoop and score by DeAndre Hogues, the junior defensive end, a key playmaker for the Rattlers, and he's showing why tonight. This is going to be a handoff to James Leatherwood, fighting, pushing the pile, and he's going to come up short after a 2-point conversion attempt on the play. The score remains Jeff Davis 21, LeFlore 20. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. It's a brand new game. Keep it right here for more of the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still. Just 1 second. Just okay, go, go, go. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to third quarter action of the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV. Tim Finnegan, Howard McCain, live from Ladd Peoples Stadium, and what a tale of two halves as the LeFlore Rattlers have come into the second half completely re-energized on offense. Senior quarterback Rodney English throws his first touchdown of the season to D'Angelo Stewart, his second touchdown of the night. But then on the next drive for Jefferson Davis, DeAndre Hogues capitalizes on a muffed fumble and recovers for a 30-yard touchdown, putting the Rattlers just down 21-20 to Jefferson Davis. And right now, the Volunteers offense has to try to put it into motion in this second half drive to capitalize off the last mistake.
And the energy in this stadium has just gone up exponentially. Over here on the floor side, on the home side, the band is into it. They've gotten the crowd into it. The guys on the field are into it. And Jeff Davis is going to see it again out of the defensive play. A miscue on the handoff, a scoop and score by DeAndre Hogue, and LeFlore is right back in this football game. This is easily the best game of the night, Tim, the best game of the night.
I'm just saying, if we picked it out, then of course it's going to be good. Theodore leading Citronelle 28-0 in the third quarter right now. Right here in our third quarter action, Jeff Davis leading LeFlore 21-20 as the Volunteers come out with a quick run on the play. Ja'Gary Jackson, who owns 2 of the touchdowns tonight for the Volunteers, is tackled by DeAndre Hogues. Theodore leading Citronelle 28-0 in their third quarter action. BC Rain leading Benjamin Russell 18-0 in their third quarter. As we go through a couple of the games in the Mobile area, Jefferson Davis facing a 2nd and 10 now with 7 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the third quarter. It's going to be another handoff and sniffed out by this huge defensive front of the Rattlers.
Tim, you're starting to see it. These guys are starting to feel it. They're starting to smell it, okay? We got a shot to win this football game. They have not stopped competing, and that all the credit can be given to the head coach. If the head coach has a don't give up attitude, it's going to trickle down to his players, and right now it has. This defensive front is all of a sudden starting to control the line of scrimmage. It's the running lanes for Jackson are starting to shrink.
Jefferson Davis coming back out on offense right here. Zarin Haney on 3rd and 9, throws to his right, tries to get his target, and he's going to be stuffed immediately. Checked it down to Austin Ballard on the plate, but the junior ran out of real estate as he was brought down by the LeFlore secondary.
And now your defense goes out there and does exactly what it's supposed to do. You get the offense back off the field. You get your offense back on the field. After a score, it is really important for the defense to go out, get a 3-and-out on the other team's offense. That's what LeFlore did. The drive stalls right at about the 35-yard line of the Volunteers as they prepare to pump this football back to the Rattlers.
And it's going to be Wood with a low snap, muffs the ball. He's got defenders in his face, but he gets it away off of a soccer kick, and it's going to drift all the way back to around the 16-yard line. And it looks like they might have thrown a flag out there by around the 35-yard line on the LeFlore sideline.
Now, this is either going to be offsides, Tim, or, as we look at the replay, the muffed snap and the handle by the punter was able to still get a punt off and get it downfield, but this entire play is going to be nullified because it was a false start against the Volunteers. The LeFlore is going to accept the penalty, make them re-kick it again, Tim. So let's bring that football all the way back, and let's start this process all over again. And hopefully for the LeFlore Rattlers, they can have another miscue just as they had a second ago on the snap that went into the turf when it got to the punter. Maybe they can get them into another situation like that and actually get the football back deep in Volunteer territory.
Right now, it just only continues to pile on the momentum that the Rattlers have built here in this third quarter. 2 touchdowns gets them back into this game. 5 minutes and 51 seconds left here in our third quarter. Jeff Davis holding on to a 21-20 lead. They haven't had any type of success here in this second half as the Rattlers continue to roll with 2 players in the backfield to receive this punt. Another low snap, and it's going to be tackled at the 10-yard line, piled up once again. Another huge play by this Rattlers unit. And dare I say, Howard, the Volunteers are being rattled by the LeFlore.
That is incredible. What are the odds of the same miscue happening 2 plays in a row? That is absolutely amazing, and LeFlore did exactly what they had to do, Tim. They capitalized. They now are set up 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line of the Volunteers, only down by a single point here in the third quarter, Tim. A huge reversal of fortune happening in the second half. Great job by the coaching staff of the LeFlore Rattlers to get inside these guys' heads and hearts in the locker room and get them out here playing with all types of intensity and hunger.
That's the second huge turnover that the LeFlore Rattlers have capitalized on as James Leatherwood gets the handoff on the play. He's going to get up the field for about a 5-yard gain inside the Volunteers' 5-yard line. And at this point, this is inching near double-digit trips
now,
to the red zone.
We take a look at the fumble here on the miscue on the snap and the reception there by the punter. Same thing. Again, you don't see that happen often at all in football at any level. But here tonight for the LeFlore Rattlers, I'm telling you, the tide has completely turned here in the second half.
Rodney English lining up on a 2nd and short. Looks over to his left, has the real estate, and gets it into the end zone himself for his 3rd touchdown of the night. His 2nd rushing touchdown comes on a 4-yard scramble. Quarterback keeper Rodney English puts the Rattlers on top with his 3rd touchdown of the night.
And right now, the defense for the Volunteers, they have no idea what has just happened. They've come out in the second half, the Rattlers, as Rodney English finds a crease up the left side to get into the end zone easily to give the LeFlore Rattlers a 26-21 lead here in the third quarter. Right now, the defense for the Volunteers, they don't know what's going on. We had a 21-6 lead. Now we're down 26-21. Incredible.
It's going to be a handoff this time, and it's going to go to Leatherwood as he tries to stretch the ball out, and it's going to be an incomplete 2-point conversion on the play. But nonetheless, the Rattlers are on top for the first time in tonight's game, 26-21 with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Keep it right here for more high school football action with Mobile County Public School System.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to third quarter action of the Mobile County Public School High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV. And it's been the entire quarter of nothing but the LeFlore Rattlers as they now lead 26-21 off of Rodney English's 3rd touchdown on the day, his 2nd on the ground, Howard.
Tim, there are so many ebbs and flows that happen over the course of a football game. 1 minute it looks like one team is dominating and the other one is laid down. Then the next minute, you know, the other team that was laying down is dominating and the team that was dominating starts to look like they're laying down. That's why you have to continue to play all the way until that clock reaches 0-0 at the end of the fourth quarter. LeFlore has not quit, and that effort has yielded them now the 26-21 lead here in the fourth quarter against a Jeff Davis team right now. Honestly, I'm pretty sure they're looking at each other like, what in the world just happened.
Well, the Volunteers were able to capitalize off the simple miscues on the defensive front in the first half and able to have some of those long touchdown runs. It seems at halftime, LeFlore has been able to clean up and try to seal off any type of rushing attempts because we haven't seen a lot of passing from the Volunteers offense. And so now that they've shut down and made them one-dimensional, they have continued to capitalize off of 2 key turnovers tonight, and that's what's been able to get them on the board multiple times, 3 times here in the third quarter, and get them this 26-21 lead. It's going to be a high kick. Jackson bringing it up the 20-yard line. Keeps his feet on the plate. No, they will signal him down at the 20-yard line.
This is what I want to watch here, Tim, for the last 4 minutes and 39 seconds of this third quarter. Let's look at the body language of the Volunteers for the rest of this quarter. Now, you'll start to see with their body language whether they're going to continue to compete or whether you're going to start to see them give up. Now, if you start to see guys with their hands on their hips, they're walking to their positions on the field, they're slow to get back to the huddle, they're slow to get up off the ground, Tim, that's going to show you that they're starting to show some signs of being beaten. Let's see if LeFlore can continue to lean on his offense, take heart out of them, and get out of here with a victory.
Darren Haney, the sophomore quarterback for the Volunteers, is under center. He's got 3 receiving options to his right, 1 to his left with Williams in the backfield, and they're going to try to head off to their highly volatile running back, but he's going to be brought down immediately. Jackson in the backfield. Ja'Carry Jackson scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half, but has been silent here in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go to a no-huddle offense here for Jeff Davis. Short gain on the play, Tim. Only about 2 yards by the running back Johnson.
And he comes out, takes the snap. It's going to be a delayed handoff, but nonetheless gets to Jackson, but brought down immediately by DeAndre Ray, the senior linebacker, making a play, 6 foot 225, and just sniffed that one out in the backfield.
And Tim, a lot of times in football games like this that have been so high energy and competitive, those are the guys that start to show up late in the game. Your seniors, they've been here, they've been in these positions before, and they know how to make plays. That time, the senior linebacker able to exploit a crease in between the guard and the tackle and get in and disrupt the running play.
Haney trying to communicate with his receivers over on the right side. He's got 2 receiving options on each side of the shotgun formation. And he's got to take the snap, looking around, and they're going to blow the play dead as a flag comes out inside the 20-yard line on the LeFlore side. It could be a false start penalty for the Volunteers.
It's either a false start penalty or, well, it had to be a false start penalty because if one of the LeFlore Rattler, well, actually, it's going to be against LeFlore. They jumped into the neutral zone. Now, in high school football, you can't jump in and then jump back out of the neutral zone. Once the player violates that neutral zone, the play is dead, the flag is dropped, and the 5 yards are assessed. So that's going to make it now 3rd instead of 3rd and long, Tim. It's going to make it 3rd and about 7 here in this third quarter.
Well, this Rattlers defense has been highly aggressive as they're going to get caught once again for making that jump on the play. It looks like it was Demetri Goldsmith, the nose tackle senior, with that penalty. And once again, Sean Kelly giving us the call.
5-yard penalty.
Another 5-yard offsides penalty. That's 10 yards that the Volunteers have gained of offense after big defensive plays earlier on this drive, bringing our down to 3rd and 2 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third, as it's going to be a quick handoff, but stuffed immediately. It looks like on the play, Travis Bozeman, the sophomore running back, was able to evade one defender, but met by the rest of the defense on the play as we take a look at this replay.
Yeah, it looks like great job by the offensive line to stand up. I mean, the defensive line to stand up the offensive line to give one of the roaming linebackers an opportunity to get in and make the tackle, Tim. That's going to bring up 4th down now, and right back out there is the special teams unit who just a second ago mishandled 2 snaps from center back to the punter. Can it happen a 3rd time, Tim, deep in their own territory?
Ty Woods back with 3 blockers in front of him just in case something similar happens. It's going to be a high snap. He controls this one, and it's a high punt all the way down to the opposite side of the field over the head of the LeFlore Blairs, and it's going to be touchdown inside the 30-yard line at the 28 with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the third quarter. As we get you caught up with all the scores from around the Mobile area, right now LeFlore leading Jeff Davis 26-21. Baker leading Williamson in the third quarter 28-0 on their home turf. St. Paul's leading Bryant 37-0 on the road in the third quarter. Theodore dominating Citronelle on the road 35-0 in the third quarter. And BC Rain with a dominant performance 32-0 in the third quarter. I'll tell you what, Howard.
A lot of goose eggs.
There's a lot of goose eggs, but we have the best game right here as Rodney English comes out, and it's a quick strike. James Leatherwood of the receiver position coming up the field, and they're going to say that he was down, and he was down back around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, upcoming 2nd and 10 as we approach 2 minutes left here in our third quarter.
Yeah, on that swing pass out to the running back, he was actually wide open. Rodney English failed to stride into the throw, Tim. He just kind of laid back and threw it just completely with his arm strength, and the ball kind of died a little bit as it got to the running back out in the flat. He had to go down to one knee to catch the football. Once that knee touches the ground, the play is ruled dead. Only about a half of a yard pickup on that play, so it's still going to be about 2nd and 9 here for the Rattlers as the third quarter continues to tick down.
Rodney English with 3 touchdowns to his name in just this quarter as he drops back to pass, rolls out to his right, and a quick strike to James Leatherwood. This time a completion for about 6 yards. It's going to be 3rd and short. Benjamin Russell, we have a score correction. Benjamin Russell actually leading BC Rain 32-0 in the third quarter, and I misspoke earlier. Rodney English 3 touchdowns on the night, 2 coming in this quarter, 1 in the first half.
I'd like to see LeFlore at this point in the football game keep the ball on the ground, okay? There's a little bit over a minute left in the third quarter. You have the lead. Grind the clock out. Grind this defense down as we get a handoff here to the running back, Leatherwood.
James Leatherwood picking up the first down and then some. Around a 15-yard gain that's going to get him over to the other side of the field, crossing the 50. As we watch Leatherwood right here, he's put in the work in the offseason to become more of a running back, and we're seeing tonight the power, the vision, the mindset to be able to have the ball security, and he's been breaking tackles and evading defenders with a purpose tonight.
I'm starting to see the defensive linemen for the Volunteers, hands on hips, can't get off of blocks. That time, great play fake by the quarterback, Rodney English, able to surge upfield, Tim, on that play for about 8 yards.
An 8-yard gain is going to get him all the way up to around the 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and short. Another quarterback keeper for Rodney English, but he is down once again the second time tonight. Took a shot towards the end of that play.
Now, if you see, the coaching staff comes out immediately and starts to stretch him out. You and I both know exactly what that means. That means he's cramping, okay? Now, more than likely at this point in the football game, they're not going to be able to get any liquids, any electrolytes into him to keep that cramping from happening. So the best thing they can do is try to manage it. Try to keep him in the pocket. If he's going to continue to play as their quarterback tonight, they're going to have to figure out how to keep him on the field.
We're going to step away for a quick break. LeFlore leading Jeff Davis 26-21 here in our third quarter action of the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
So, what did your child eat at school today? Well, if you're looking for answers, we have them right here. I'm Suzanne Yates, the Food Service Director for the Mobile County Public School System, and I would like to invite you to join me for Cooking with Class, the child nutrition show from the Mobile County Public School System. Come with me as I go into the school cafeterias and talk to the folks who prepare the meals daily for our children. Join me as we go Cooking with Class.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, live from Ladd Peoples Stadium between the LeFlore Rattlers and the Jeff Davis Volunteers. LeFlore leading 26-21 after scoring 3 touchdowns in the third quarter as we head to fourth quarter action. Rodney English, the senior quarterback, had to step away. The coaches and trainers are working on him on the sidelines, but it looks like if he can't go early on here in this late quarter, James Leatherwood, last year's quarterback, will be able to step in. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action with LeFlore leading Jeff Davis 26-21 on the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
Smartboard, that's right.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights, live here on Seymour TV, live from Ladd Peoples Stadium in Mobile, Alabama, with the best game of the night as the LeFlore Rattlers are beating the Jeff Davis Volunteers 26-21. 3 key touchdowns, Howard, coming in the second half into this third quarter. Rodney English and this LeFlore offense has been putting together quite the show, but he is on the sidelines now as James Leatherwood comes out at quarterback, and he's going to keep it himself and get no gain on the play. It's going to be an upcoming 3rd and short inside the Volunteers 40.
Tim, we saw Rodney English go to the sidelines with cramping. He's kind of been cramping quite a bit all night, and I think as his fourth quarter wages on, we're going to start to see that happen a little bit more. Now, I checked my weather.com app, okay, during the break, all right? All right, it says that it's currently 84.
I don't believe it.
Okay, but the percent humidity is 80. So that makes it feel like 94 out here tonight. So again, if these guys aren't properly hydrated, this humidity is going to act like a sponge, and it's going to pull all the moisture right out of these kids.
Leatherwood dropping back to pass, scrambles out, evades 1 tackle, 2 tackles, gets by another one and ripped down, but not until he picks up the first down and then some, getting the Rattlers right around the 31-yard line. James Leatherwood, an electric run out of the quarterback position.
Now, James Leatherwood's electric run is telling me that this kid is full of electrolytes. This kid has not cramped up at all tonight. He's actually gotten stronger as the game is waged on. You can see this kid getting, you can see if he's actually running downhill as he gets tackled. So right now, LeFlore is starting to impose his will on this Jeff Davis team, who frankly has not had good luck any and every time they've come to Mobile.
A quick strike out to the outside to D'Angelo Stewart, but the play is called dead as a flag comes out on the Jeff Davis sideline around the 30-yard line.
Somebody must have jumped is what I believe is. We get the call from the referee, and it's going to be illegal procedure. Somebody did move early for LeFlore, so that's going to back them up 5 yards. Tim pushes the ball back to their own 37-yard line, Tim, but they are currently enjoying a 26-21 lead right now over Jeff Davis out of Montgomery.
LeFlore has continued to shut down Jeff Davis here in the second half after trailing 21-6 going into halftime, coming out a completely new Rattlers team as they hold a 5-point lead with 10 minutes and 30 seconds left here in our game. James Leatherwood coming out is going to be a handoff to Jacoby Green, the running back, gets around the right side, comes up the field and brought down from behind, but not until he gains around 7 yards on the play. It's going to be an upcoming 2nd and 7 roughly around the 30-yard. Another favorable spot.
LeFlore sent a fresh set of legs out there at running back. That was Jacoby Green. That time he was able to bounce the ball to the outside because all night long LeFlore has been testing the middle of that defense, Tim, that's shrunk, that's brought the linebackers and everybody close into the line of scrimmage, bounce the ball outside, find a crease, and get upfield.
2nd and 6 as Leatherwood and Green are in the backfield. Direct snap. Leatherwood drops back to pass. A quick strike over to the outside. A connection over there with D'Angelo Stewart. He's going to get up the field, and it looks like the ball might have come out. Jeff Davis says that they have it, and the signal is they do.
Yes. As we look at the replay here, and this is something that we've talked about early in the broadcast, and it's called ball security. Great job of securing the catch there is D'Angelo Stewart, but he does not wrap the football up, Tim, when he gets tackled. The ball gets stripped, and it gets stripped by Sean Fillion, and it gets covered up that time, I believe, by Lawrence Wallace. So possession goes over to the Volunteers, who pretty much the defense was being demoralized. They were getting pushed all the way back, but a fortuitous situation there for the Volunteers. Volunteers halts the drive. The fumble halts the drive for the LeFlore Rattlers, and the offense for the Volunteers makes its way back onto the field.
Sean Fillion was actually the third-string quarterback that had subbed in at that time to complete the strike over to Stewart. A fumble and a turnover on the play, and now LeFlore comes out and they make another stop. DeAndre Ray, the senior linebacker, sniffing out the running play and stopping Ja'Carry Jackson in the backfield once again. Another big play for Ray in the second half.
Tim, what do we say about seniors late in ball games? Those are the guys that step up. And right now, the senior linebacker for the LeFlore Rattlers all of a sudden has become just a tackling machine, able to shoot that gap between the guard and the tackle and blow the play up in the backfield.
And he drops back to pass a screen dump off. It gets it out to his receiver, but they're going to call the play dead. They're going to say no reception, and they're going to spot it back at the 14-yard line. A knee was down. They will have the completion, but the knee was down upon the reception, and he had contact right there around the 14-yard line. Upcoming 3rd and about 13 with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in our game. The Volunteers trailing the Rattlers 26-21.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing a rattled Volunteer team. This drive is going backwards.
Handing out the pistol formation, play action fake, looks downfield, a big pass, and his receiver went down. No interference call. No, there is a flag down at the 14-yard line by the side judge.
Now that could be holding against LeFlore. If it is, we're going to get the call now from the referee. Or maybe there was an illegal receiver downfield for, and that's what it was. It's going to be illegal receiver downfield for the Volunteers. Somebody from the line of scrimmage released and went upfield. When that happens, you cease to be a blocker and you turn into a wide receiver. If you didn't call yourself if you didn't make yourself an eligible receiver before the play started, you're now an illegal receiver downfield. So LeFlore is going to take the play, which was an incomplete pass, Tim. That's going to bring up 4th down and long. So now they have to punt the ball back to LeFlore, who on offense, had it not been for that turnover, it's possible they may have been able to hang another touchdown on this tired Volunteer defense.
Junior punter Ty Woods comes out for the Volunteers as LeFlore is switching out personnel in the backfield for the punt team. This is a low snap, a high kick. It'll be brought all the way out, cross the 50-yard line. LeFlore's going to pick it up, bring it around the middle, and right back to the 50-yard line, brought down, but not until they get into Volunteer territory, and another flag comes out at the 40-yard line.
That may be an illegal block in the back. Well, they picked the flag up and they've moved it, so it either may be holding at the point of attack, or, Tim, that's going to be an illegal block in the back. We'll get the indication here from the referee in just a second, but as it goes, LeFlore is not going to give possession back.
On the return team.
Okay, so it's going to be a block in the back against the LeFlore Rattlers. That's going to back them up, but they still maintain possession, Tim, as we have reached the 8-minute and 7-second mark here in the 4th quarter. LeFlore still leading in this game, and they still have the momentum.
Here in the second half, it's been all of LeFlore, but they've been switching around personnel at the quarterback position as Rodney English appears to be coming back into the game now. He left the game earlier, late in the 3rd quarter. It appeared to be cramping, but the trainers have worked on him, and now he re-enters the game with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. LeFlore with a 26-21 lead. English has 3 touchdowns on the night, 2 on the ground, 1 passing, and he's just trying to get his team to victory with 8 minutes left here in our game.
Tim, I believe if LeFlore can hang 1 more touchdown on the board against the Volunteers, I believe this game is over.
A delayed handoff right there, and Leatherwood just took a shot. There seemed to be a little bit of a miscommunication. Maybe he thought that English was going to keep it, but nonetheless, a huge stop that the Volunteer defense needed. That's going to back LeFlore up even more. Now that'll be about a 5-yard loss, and they're looking somewhere in the neighborhood of a 2nd and 15 all the way back to the 34-yard line.
Now is not the time to start giving up negative yardage if you're LeFlore on offense. You want to try to keep the field flipped on the Volunteers, even if you end up giving the football back.
It's going to be a handoff to Leatherwood, bouncing around the right side. Sees one defender, spins out, and brought down after about a 4-yard gain. That's going to bring up 3rd and long, close to the 40-yard line, as LeFlore is trying to run down some clock as we approach 7 minutes remaining in our game. The Rattlers leading the Volunteers 26-21.
At this point in the game and on this spot on the field, you want to run something safe, Tim. You want to run just a simple full, halfback dive up the middle. You want to run a little bit of time off the clock and punt it away. You want to try to run something that's safe. You don't want to try to get cute with the ball and end up turning it over here deep in your own territory.
Jeff Davis has 3 timeouts left as the floor comes out. Rodney English, a quick strike over to Stewart. He's going to be met immediately after about a 5-yard reception. He's dragged forward even further, and it looks like the ball will be spotted somewhere around the 46-yard line. D'Angelo Stewart with another key connection tonight after getting a pass from Rodney English.
But you know what? That play did not go for a first down, as we see D'Angelo Stewart limp off the field. You know, again, these guys are starting to cramp up. Let's hope that's just what it is and not some type of injury. But that play did not go for a first down, and that's okay, okay? You have an opportunity to punt the football away if that's what LeFlore decides to do, and you're able to flip field position on the Volunteers, as I believe we're going to get a timeout.
Well, there's going to be a timeout indeed, because D'Angelo Stewart limping off the field. He's also the team's punter, so that could make a huge decision on this 4th and 5. Upcoming 6 minutes left in our game. You're watching the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week. LeFlore leading Jeff Davis 26-21. Keep it right here for more high school football action.
It started with me at Murphy High School when I came here as a freshman in 1973. I was very interested in math and science already before I came to Murphy. From Murphy High School, I was appointed to the U.S. Naval Academy, was able to get my college degree and also my commission in the U.S. Navy from the Naval Academy. But it truly was the foundation that I gained here at Murphy High School that allowed me to take advantage of that great opportunity.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights live here on Seymour TV. James Leatherwood lining up at quarterback on this 4th and 5 with 6 minutes left in our game. Leatherwood, a high punt. It looks like it got tipped when he tried to punt it. It's going to drop right at the 50-yard line and recovered. There might be a little bit of a muff as LeFlore tried to bounce the ball in their favor, but recovered by Jeff Davis. And it's going to be a first down for the Volunteers. They're going to take over with great field position at the 46-yard line with less than 6 minutes left to work with. Looking at scores from around the area, Baker with a dominant 35-0 performance in the 4th quarter over Williamson. St. Paul's with a 37-6 performance over Bryant in the 4th. Theodore continues to dominate Citronelle 42-0. And Benjamin Russell in the 4th quarter leads BC Rain 32-0. Blunt and Viger, make sure to check it out. The battle for Pritchard tomorrow night is going to be another great blockbuster rivalry matchup for the Mobile County Public School System as we sit with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in our game. LeFlore leading 26-21. The Volunteers have their best field position of the entire second half after what was a tipped punt by James Leatherwood, and it looks like D'Angelo Stewart is getting stretched out on the sidelines. He left the game limping a little bit. That's why he wasn't in there to punt the ball. As the Volunteers take over first down, as Gary's looking out, he checks down. It's going to be a tip pass and almost intercepted. Almost intercepted on the play by Thomas Kidd, the outside linebacker, trying to make a play. Tipped it and then lost the ball in the air, but a huge deflection for this Rattlers defense in the second half.
And Tim, do you know why he's a linebacker and not a receiver? Because linebackers have hands of stone. He had nothing but real estate and opportunity in front of him. All he had to do was just squeeze the football, and he's a hero tonight. But as it goes, the ball falls incomplete. It's second down now for the Volunteers.
Second down for Jeff Davis as they come out, and a huge stop by the LeFlore defense, and who else but DeAndre Ray, who's just been a tackling machine this second half. His third tackle for loss, coming up with another big play for this Rattlers unit in the second half.
Oh, yeah, he woke up. He woke up, and his team woke up with him. Again, you can't discount senior leadership on a football team. These young guys, they look to these guys for leadership. He's pretty much shown leadership by example tonight by being a tackling machine, Tim, as we get a stoppage and play.
And it looks like Jeff Davis is going to take a timeout. They had 3 to spare, 5 minutes left in this game. LeFlore leads 26-21, as Jeff Davis is the team that will take the timeout on the play. We have 5 minutes remaining here in our game. LeFlore has been completely dominant in this second half. Jeff Davis facing a 3rd and 10 as LeFlore continues to hold on with their dominating performance. 26-21 over Jeff Davis. Mobile County Public Schools class of 2014 won $72 million worth of college scholarships. About 28% of our graduates receive at least one scholarship offer every year. Those include academic and athletic scholarships and awards in the arts for community service and for JROTC. Graduating college and career ready, it starts with us.
72 million? I need to go back to high school. I'm going back. I am re-enrolling next week.
It's going to be a handoff on the play, but only about a 3-yard gain for Gary Jackson, who has been silenced in this second half after exploding onto the scene with over 150 yards of offense in the first half. But LeFlore has continued to shut down Jackson and Jeff Davis here in this second half as we tick under 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in our game. 4th down. Zarin Haney lining up, shotgun formation, rolls to his right, has a lot of pressure in his face, evades one tackle, rolls over to the left side, trying to make something happen. He's got more defenders in his face, evades 2, 3, and finally brought down around the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be a turnover, another huge play for LeFlore.
Tim, it looked like they were trying to maybe set up a screenplay, but there was so much penetration that got in on top of the quarterback before he could do what he wanted to do with the football, circled all the way back to the left, finally brought down, and all of that, Tim, he ran about 50 yards, it seemed like, just to get back to the line of scrimmage and give the ball back to LeFlore on downs. Nice job there by the LeFlore Rattler defense. They have woken up. They pitched a shutout, folks, in this second half. They have not allowed another point on the board by the Volunteers. A very impressive display by this defensive unit for the LeFlore Rattlers.
And you can expect a lot of rushing with 4 minutes remaining in our game. Jeff Davis has 2 timeouts remaining as they trail LeFlore 26-21 as the Rattlers come out on offense as a handoff to James Leatherwood, who starts right and crosses over around the 50-yard line. Going to bring up around a 2nd and 8 after a minimal gain.
Yeah, like you said, right now it's going to turn from the ground game pretty much to the pound game. They're going to continue to smash these running backs into the line of scrimmage over and over, Tim, until they finally get this clock wound down and get out of here with a victory and send Jeff Davis back home without a win again on another visit into Mobile County.
Jeff Davis choosing not to stop the clock as it continues to tick away 3 minutes and 30 seconds and counting here in our 4th quarter. The Rattlers come out of the shotgun formation. It's another handoff to Leatherwood. He spins out of a tackle and gets up the field for another 3 to 4 yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and about 4 on the upcoming play as the Rattlers cross the 50-yard line and try to convert another 1st down.
And Tim, I agree with you. I'm really surprised. Well, it's only 2nd down, okay? So if you stop the clock right now, okay, it's 3rd down. Okay, it's 3rd down on the field, and it's 2nd down on the scoreboard. So the field is correct. It's 3rd down. I'm really surprised that they did not call a timeout to stop the clock with more than 33 minutes left in the game, but it looks like Jeff Davis is just going to rely on the defense.
English with another handoff this time, but he's going to give it to his backup running back, Chester Williams, who's going to get up the field and get a fresh set of downs for the Rattlers offense as he gains around 10 yards on the play, taking them inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much academic. And this run here by the running back, Chester Williams, is pretty much going to salt this game away, I believe, for LeFlore, because all they have to do now, Tim, is just keep the ball on the ground and run the clock. Do not run out of bounds if you are a LeFlore running back. Force Jeff Davis to use up their final 2 timeouts. If they can pick up one more first down, they could just kneel on the football, Tim, and this is a ball game.
The time continues to tick away. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Another handoff for the Rattlers, as they're just going to let the clock run.
That is
Jeff
strange.
Davis with 2 timeouts left.
That's strange.
Trailing 26-21. As we are now under 2 minutes left in our game. Rodney English coming back out on offense. LeFlore dominating this second half.
If you're the quarterback, do not snap that football before there's 1 second left on that play clock. Run it all the way down.
And it looks like someone got a quick start over there in the trenches.
I think that's going to be against the opposing team. I think that's going to be against the Volunteers, Tim. And if so, that's going to move the ball up the field.
Legal procedure.
I'm sorry, it's going to be a false start against LeFlore. But you know what? Again,
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's okay. But the thing about it is that you give a little bit of field position back to the Volunteers, but once they spot the football and call it back into play, the clock continues to run. And I'm still curious to know why the Volunteers are not using any of their timeouts at this point in the game, only being down by 5.
After that penalty is going to bring up 2nd and long. The clock continues to tick away. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. Rodney English takes the snap. He's going to hand off to his running back, going to get up the field and takes a shot. But after he picks up about 5 yards, and now the Volunteers take a timeout with 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the game. The Rattlers leading 26-21. Jeff Davis will only have 1 timeout left in the game.
That one, I'm still a little bit baffled by, Tim, because I thought that's a timeout that they should have taken about 2 minutes ago when there was still more than 3 minutes left to play in this football game. But as it goes, if the Volunteers are able to stop the Rattlers, by the time the Rattlers send the football back to them, you're going to have to say close to 50 seconds would have been ticked off of that clock by the time the Rattlers get the football back. That's going to give the Volunteers less than a minute, way under a minute left in this football game to try to do anything with it as far as getting the ball down the field with possibly no timeouts. That's going to put your offense in a very, very difficult position.
Howard, you're on social media.
Sure.
If you want to keep up with all the latest news that's happening with the Mobile County Public School System, find them on Facebook and Twitter to get all the latest updates. Follow some of the administrators as well, as they will get you the day-by-day operations that are happening in the developments in the Mobile County Public School System. Also, if you're interested in keeping up with the latest news in your community, especially around the high school football season, follow Seymour TV at Seymour_TV. That's SEYMOUR.
I'm already following. I'm already a follower.
We have 1 minute and 25 seconds left here in our game. LeFlore completely dominant in the second half after being down 21-6, now holding on to a 26-21 lead. They are in the driver's seat with another handoff to James Leatherwood, who's going to get up the field. That's a 4-yard gain on the play. The clock will continue to tick down. Jeff Davis has 1 timeout, and they will take it right here, stopping the clock at 1 minute and 17 seconds left. LeFlore facing an upcoming 4th and about 9. With 1 minute, 17 seconds remaining in our game, LeFlore in the driver's seat, leading 26-21. Keep it right here for more fourth quarter action of the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
First day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week, presented by School Insights. live here on Seymour TV. 1 minute, 17 seconds remaining in our game. LeFlore with a blockbuster second half has put them back into the lead, 26-21 over Jefferson Davis, as they are in the driver's seat right now, getting ready to punt this ball away, it appears, on a 4th and 8, down inside Volunteer territory, as LeFlore punter D'Angelo Stewart appears to be back on the field after suffering from some cramps earlier in the game. And I'll tell you, the trainers have been busy tonight, Howard, on the sidelines.
Absolutely, and this LeFlore defense has been stellar here, Tim, in the second half. Pitching a shutout, not allowing the Volunteers to score another point. They've actually made the Jeff Davis Volunteer defense look more like Betty Davis out there instead of Jeff Davis.
Wow. Stewart back around the 50-yard line. Is going to take a hot nose, a direct snap to Devontae Ray. He's going to bring it out on the left side, gets a key block, runs over one defender, and brought down, but no conversion on the play. Jeff Davis will take over around the 30-yard line. Earlier in tonight's game, Devontae Ray was able to convert a 4th down after a fake punt was executed, got about a 30-yard gain, and put the Rattlers in position to get their initial score on the board, as it appears that there might be some activity on the sidelines over here.
Well, we had a player that was shaken up for Jeff Davis. It looked like he collided with one of his teammates. It was Montrell Huff, who's one of the I believe he's one of the defensive ends for Jeff Davis. He ran into one of his own teammates, and he was a little shaken up on the play. So the LeFlore Rattlers are going to trot their defense out here for this final 110. Well, it says, okay, no timeouts for the Volunteers. So if you're LeFlore, try to keep everything in the middle of the field if possible.
1 minute, 10 seconds remaining in our game. LeFlore defending a 26-21 lead, and they will blow the play dead. It looks like someone got a quick start over there in the trenches, Howard.
Yeah, you hope that someone for the Volunteers got started early, and someone from the LeFlore Rattlers hopefully did not step into the neutral zone. I'm looking at the umpire with the football. He's starting to mark it off against the Volunteers, which is a false start against the Volunteers at maximum 5 yards.
Still first down.
2 seconds came off the clock. We're down to 1:08 remaining in this football game.
LeFlore with an impressive second half. They have a 26-21 lead after scoring 3 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. They have completely shut down the Jeff Davis Volunteers in the second half. As Haiti comes out, he's going to try to throw a quick strike to his receiver on the outside, and an incompletion on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd and 15 now, as the clock stops at 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Now, if you're a defensive back for LeFlore, you do not allow anyone running a route to get behind you, okay? You keep everything in front of you. And Tim, even if you have to commit pass interference to keep a guy from a long gain on the play, then that's exactly what you do.
And he drops back to pass, looks over to his left, throws a high ball in the air, overthrow, and almost intercepted on the play from Eric Jackson, the 6'4" defensive back, trying to stretch out and catch that. Almost turned himself into a receiver on that play, as Zarin Haney tried to overthrow the coverage on the play and tried to give his receiver a chance.
And that was a great job by the defensive back Jackson. He kept the receiver in front of him. He outran the receiver on the route. That's what you want to have happen. Give that guy about a 10 or 15-yard cushion. Whatever he catches in front of you, that's fine. But do not let the receiver get behind you. They're playing press coverage right now on defense.
55 seconds left in the game. 3rd and 15. Haiti coming across the middle. Almost intercepted once again. It was a deflection. He had a receiver coming across the middle in single coverage, and LeFlore comes up with another key deflection in their secondary, bringing up 4th and 15 as the clock stops with 48 seconds left. Jeff Davis has no timeouts. They trail 26-21. They're back within their own 30-yard line, and right now Zarin Haney has all the pressure in the world as the Rattler Nation has ignited on their sidelines with their fans.
4th down, Tim. This is the football game if you're Jeff Davis. Incomplete pass, this game is over. LeFlore wins it.
Zarin Haney lining up, shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side, drops back to pass, has pressure in his face, a pile of Rattlers there, the ball is loose, there's a scoop up on the play, gonna be brought down, evades 1 tackle, 2 tackles, bring it up around the 20, and brought down from behind, and LeFlore has stopped the Jeff Davis offense once again and completely shut them out in the 2nd quarter as we watch this replay. Haney coming back around. A lot of pressure in his face, led by DeAndre Hogues on the play. A muff there, and then they're trying to make something happen, Howard.
And DeAndre Hogues hustles, Tim, comes in and makes the tackle at the end of the 4th down play. Great job once again by the senior leadership of, well, actually, I take that back. He's only a junior, so he has another year left at LeFlore. But a great job by the playmakers on defense, stepping up for the LeFlore Rattlers. First of all, causing all kinds of problems for the quarterback. Wasn't able to run the play effectively. The defensive end got the strip and came back and got the tackle as LeFlore gets into victory formation here, Tim, at Lad People Stadium.
And the clock is going to continue to tick away as the Volunteers have no more timeouts remaining. LeFlore has completely turned the game around, came all the way back in the 3rd quarter, capitalized and got a 26-21 lead after originally trailing 21-6, completely shut down Jeff Davis in the 2nd half of the season, and now the Rattler Nation starts off the 2014 season with a key momentum victory.
Well, you have to be happy for Coach Schamberger and the effort and the job of his coaching staff, getting these guys ready to play, first of all, Tim, then also taking them into the locker room at the half and preaching to these guys to not give up. They came out here, they fought, they played very, very well, Tim, on both sides of the football, capitalizing on miscues by their opponent, the Volunteers of Jeff Davis, and they get out of here with a 26-21 victory.
It's not just a big victory for LeFlore. LeFlore with a 26-21 victory over Jeff Davis. Keep it right here for post-game recap and action in the Mobile County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week.
I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still. One second. Just okay, go.
Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
County Public Schools High School Football Game of the Week presented by School Insights live on Seymour TV as the LeFlore Rattlers, an incredible 2nd half, came away with a 26-21 victory, Howard. And it was a tale of 2 halves for the Rattlers, as in the first half they went into halftime trailing 21-6 after being dominated by the Jeff Davis rushing attack.
Yeah, it was a tale of 2 halves, Tim, and you and I both saw it. Jeff Davis came out early in this football game, and they took command. 2 long, well, I take it back, it was actually 3 long touchdown runs that spotted them their 21-6 lead going into the half. But in the 2nd half, the LeFlore Rattler defense came out, shut down the Volunteer offense, scored 20 points of their own, and they got out of here with an impressive 26-21 victory here at Lad People Stadium.
And none bigger performance than the senior quarterback Rodney English. And what a story. Transferring after a quarterback controversy in the battle over at Davidson last season, comes over to LeFlore, starts as a senior, scores 3 touchdowns, and leads his team to victory on opening night. For all of our great staff, Quentin Howard and the rest of our great staff at Mobile County Public Schools, for Howard McCain, I'm Tim Finnegan. Thank you to all of our viewers from around the world watching tonight's game. Stay tuned for next week with a blockbuster doubleheader starting Thursday with Davidson and MGM, followed by one of the biggest rivalries in the Mobile area, Theodore and Bryant, live here on Seymour TV.